illegal immigration. We're going to do whatever we can to get it slowed down. A government audit released earlier this month said the Trump administration's zero-tolerance immigration crackdown at the U.S.-Mexico border earlier this year was plagued by a lack of preparation, resource shortfalls, and communication failures. The audit found that hundreds of migrant children were detained for longer than the 3-day limit allowed at U.S. Border Patrol facilities, including one who was held for at least 25 days. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Following reports of a newly posted job listing at area marketing firm Swenson Digital, The Onion spoke to a few of the 1,400 applicants who claim they are, quote, absolutely perfect for this position.
When I first saw this opening, I knew it was right for me. I've got tons of experience. I've got all the skills they're looking for.
If you look at my resume, I've got everything they're looking for. I mean, I've held similar jobs like this in the past. I'm extremely driven. I really think this is going to work out.
I've got a BA in marketing, which the posting said was recommended, so I think that'll bode really well for me. I've had plenty of team experience, and I think that would stand out. Not to mention the fact that I'm great with
web design and HTML, and pretty proficient with Excel and PowerPoint. Also, I think the culture is
very me, you know? I think I'd fit in well with the other employees. I also think I had a great
resume and cover letter. I think as soon as they interview me, they'll see I'm the perfect candidate.
As of this video's release, Swenson Digital had extended a job offer to an applicant who happens to be a friend of the boss's son.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Hey, it's Free Talk Live. We're launching into the first hour of another week of fun and excitement here where we'll take your calls and you can talk about anything that you want to discuss. A toll-free number for you tonight is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Also, the Discord on-air call-in line rooms are open and available to you. Just grab the Discord app if you don't already have it over at discordapp.com. And then you can jump into those rooms whenever you connect to our server, which you can connect to at discord.lrn.fm. Joining you tonight, Ian and Darryl, unusually. Darryl is here on a Monday, which is very rare.
Yes,
because
it is.
Normally Melanie is here. She's having car trouble, so she couldn't make it in tonight. However, you're here, and we're introducing a new guest co-host this evening on our third microphone. Her name's Jackie. Hello, Jackie.
Hello.
You, for listeners that have been in the chat room, on the Discord server, they already know you pretty well. You've spent a lot of time in our chat room chatting with our listeners over when you were a listener, actually. But you're a relatively new listener because you actually hate talk radio.
Yes.
So, and as I explained to her, you don't have to like talk radio to be on talk radio.
Yes.
Yeah. I've listened to more talk radio since meeting Darryl a month ago.
Talk right up on that mic.
Oh, she's fine.
Sorry. I've listened to more talk radio in the last month than in the previous 20 years. So that's all due to Darryl.
Well, I think that, because you guys are like boyfriend, girlfriend now, which is awesome.
Yes.
But I think a healthy disdain for talk radio is actually a requirement to some extent to be on this show, because Free Talk Live is... While we're formatted like a talk show, meaning we talk and we take phone calls,
yes,
we kind of break the rules of talk radio. So, like, there's certain things you're just not supposed to do, and we do those things on Free Talk Live. So one of the things that we do is we take calls from everybody. We are truly an open phone show. It's open phones all 7 nights per week here.
Open phones even to people that don't listen to the show.
Which is... probably not the best decision in the world, but that's what we do. And, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But either way, most of the time people are calling who are listening, so it's usually not a problem. There's really only one person right now that I can think of who is a regular caller who doesn't listen. But even
that's who I'm thinking of.
But even she, you're thinking of Sarah in New Mexico, even she called recently, and I don't know if you were on this night, but she called to announce that she had finally discovered us on the radio in Albuquerque where she lives. So technically, she is a listener now, though not listening live necessarily when she calls. And you don't have to listen live when you call the show. If you're a podcast listener, you're hearing us tomorrow or whatever, the next day, and you hear us talking about something, you're like, you want to comment? Well, just make a point of calling that night, the same night you're listening, later on, or the day that you're listening, and then just talk about the thing you wanted to talk about. It's okay to go off topic. We come to the table, obviously, with things that we think are interesting, things that we want to talk about, but you get to bring up whatever you want here on Free Talk Live, and that's one of the things that makes us special. Plus, we're actually libertarians on the radio, which is almost impossible to find. It's truly impossible to find if you just look at syndicated programs for the most part.
Right.
But there may be some local guys out there hosting like a morning show or an afternoon drive show in some local markets who are fairly libertarian. But we're the only ones that are on over 100 radio stations. And so anyway, welcome to the program, Jackie. I figure we'll start out tonight with a list of 22 rules for a boyfriend. Since you guys are not newlyweds, but newly boyfriendy.
A new couple.
New couple, there you go. That's a better way to put it.
Yeah, sometimes the Ian and words don't really work.
According to Fox News, this was published last week. While it isn't that uncommon for couples to have unspoken rules to ensure a happy relationship, one woman has taken it to the extreme by drafting a lengthy contract detailing 22 requirements for her boyfriend to sign. Now, this actually rings a bell for people who've been paying attention to libertarian drama. I know that the show on LRN.FM prior to us, The Call to Freedom, has a segment on their show every week called Libertarian Drama of the Week. There is I'm not going to name names because there's no point, but there's a celebritarian, let's say, who at one point was outed for having a relationship agreement, written contract with his girlfriend that was also similarly restrictive. So I want to make it clear, this contract, this super controlling contract you're about to hear, isn't necessarily something just a woman would do, right? Like it could come from either side. The list was first shared on Twitter by a guy who found it in a used car he had purchased, but he then deleted it.
What kind of car?
It doesn't say here, at least in the story. Maybe the Daily Mirror has that because they also talked about it. I'll pull that up. Anyway, he says he later deleted it because people thought it was his own girlfriend who had made it, and she was being harassed. According to the Daily Mirror, the list has since resurfaced after Bored Panda shared images of it, along with comments from horrified readers. Now, some of this will probably have to be censored a little bit here, but we're just going to go down the list and tell me if you know any people like this in a relationship, any controlling psychopaths, or maybe you think these are reasonable rules. So, feel free to weigh in here. Rule number 1. Again, these are the rules for the boyfriend.
All right.
So, I don't think that the girlfriend is being restricted by any of these rules, at least not in the ones that I've looked at here so far. Number 1, and again, the word not, never, ever, and rarely. These words appear in all capital letters. Everything else not, is properly capitalized. You are not to have a single girl's phone number.
What about a married girl's phone number?
You know what? That's true. There's two ways you could interpret this, right? It could be you cannot have a single girl's phone number, like as in she's single, or you cannot have a single girl's phone number, meaning you cannot have a single one.
You cannot have the phone number of any female, including your mother, your grandmother, your aunt, your coworker that you have to talk to.
Is grandma considered a girl? Girl's kind of typically like a younger kind of terminology. It just depends on how it's
There are people
utilized.
that use the term girl to describe any woman.
True. You could say, hey, girls, and you could be talking about a group of older women, I suppose.
The Golden Girls.
Yeah, great point. So, number 2, you are not to follow them, presumably the single girls or any girls, on social media, including Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. Which means she will be auditing your social media to make sure that you're not following them. Number 3, you are not to hang out with Keegan. Now, apparently that is a male's name, although I've heard Keegan as a female name.
The only Keegan that I am aware of is an actor, Keegan-Michael Key. He is one half of Key and Peele. He seems like a cool guy to hang out with.
Can't hang out with him, and it says here in parentheses, including his house or anywhere public.
Well, I don't know where he lives. Maybe we'll be in the same state at the same time. I don't know.
Now, I don't know what this one is. Number 4, you are not to go to Honda without me. Now, I'm not sure if that's like a racetrack or something like that, or like, because like, why wouldn't you be able to go to the Honda dealer?
You can't go to the dealership unless I'm there with you.
Maybe there's a cute girl that works at the Honda dealership. I'm not sure.
Could be. Maybe it's one of those cute single girls that he was following on Twitter and InstaFilter.
Number 5, you are not to hang out with your friends more than 2 times per week.
I mean, without her or just in general?
That's a good question. She doesn't make it clear. I would imagine that if it was with her, she could waive the rule. So I'm gonna guess this has to do with without her, right? Because some couples, they need to have a little bit of alone time. They need to have their friend time or whatever. So she's saying no more than twice a week. Number 6, you are not to look at a single girl. To look at a single girl.
Right. So. And I've had this discussion with other people about some of these, really restrictive of don't look at women, blah, blah, blah. Well, what if I'm at a restaurant and she's asking to take my order? Do I just hide my face in the menu the whole time?
The toll-free number here tonight. If you've been in a relationship like this and you want to comment on what it was like, the toll-free number here is for you. You can also bring up anything you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. It's Free Talk Live. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. The Liberty Dollar was so successful that the United States government had to take it down, and its founder, Bernard von Nothaus. Now Bernard's son Extra has launched Liberty Dollar 2. LD2 is a cryptocurrency, but each token is backed by the same gorgeous fine silver rounds that Liberty Dollar has always been known for. Your silver is secured in an audited vault and can be redeemed at any time. There's only a few thousand LD2 Zero tokens left in the crowd sale at ld2coin.io. Get yours, ld2coin.io. Do you operate a retail business and are looking for a solution for point-of-sale cryptocurrency acceptance? It's never been easier thanks to AnyPay.global. There's no paperwork or approval process to open an account. If you already have a tablet at your cash register, you're almost done. Just sign up at AnyPay.global, drop your personal crypto wallet addresses in our setup page, and then load our app. That's it. You're accepting cryptocurrency like Bitcoin and Dash at your store. Get started now at AnyPay.global. That's AnyPay.global.
Bitcoin.com wants you to know about SaveItPurse.com. Since launching in 2014, over 200,000 users have saved an average of 15% for a combined $4 million using Bitcoin, or BTC. And now you can use Bitcoin Cash, BCH, to fund your account. You can save between 5 to 33% on things you're going to buy anyway when you shop using SaveItPurse.com. Add items to your cart, fund your account, select your discount, and save. SaveItPurse.com. SaveATPurse.com.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media, and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. You dial toll free if you want to join us on the radio waves. Our number here is 855-450-FREE. More of the 22 rules to be in a relationship with some girl we don't know. But the rules were allegedly found in a car after some dude bought it at a dealership.
Right, and I'm curious what kind of car, because they always say that like you can tell a lot about a person by the kind of car they drive or the type of shoes they wear.
Yeah, I'm going to try and see if I can figure that out for you here, but now it just says here some guy traded in his car and had his contract from his girlfriend in it. Parts of the list were annotated with different colored pens. And let's see, some of the knots were underlined. Okay, so they actually do show the original here. So yeah, apparently all caps wasn't enough for the knot. She also underlined it with a pink pen. He originally
underlined like 3 times, because
just
then
once.
You know she's serious.
Just once. The message, it doesn't say anything here about what kind of car it was. So we can get back into that list. We just kind of got through the first maybe third of it. We'll continue. We'll also take your calls and thoughts. And I want to let you know how to win some Zen. We've been giving away Zen over the last couple months here on Free Talk Live. 1 giveaway per week is the way it's been going. And first we started with exclusive giveaways. Initially it was for the Free Talk Live amplifiers.
Yes.
Then after that I think it was radio listeners or podcast listeners, one or the other, and then eventually both.
Podcasts, then people that were listening to one of the live streams that would have heard the ads broadcast on the radio.
Right. So and then now everybody is available or qualifies to enter this giveaway unless they've already won once so far in the last 9 weeks, basically. Right?
Yes. If you've already won some Zen, then you can't win more Zen during this round of giveaways.
We want more people to win than just one person. So
yes.
So here's how you win 1.75 Zen, and right now Zen is what about 15, 16 bucks?
Was like 14 this morning.
So more than 20, 25 bucks, maybe around that, somewhere around that range worth of Zen. You can get that by emailing Darryl, Darryl, at freetalklive.com. In the subject line, you got to pick a number between 1 and 999. You put that in the subject line, and then in the email, you put your transparent Zen address. That's just your public Zen address that you get once you install your Zen wallet. If you have not yet done that, you need to do that first before you send Darryl the email. And then on Wednesday, so in 2 days, probably around noontime Eastern, you're going to be choosing the winner, whichever one is closest to the number that was already randomly chosen.
Right, and I'm putting all of the things into a spreadsheet, so it already tells me who the closest person is right now. And I will say somebody right now is within 4.
Oof, all right. Horizon.global. Don't let that scare you away from entering, though, because you could still get it if you enter now.
Right. Because you don't know what number it is. You might get it right on the nose.
Learn more about Zen, which is part of a larger privacy platform that's being developed called Horizon. Horizon.global, HORIZEN.global. So we're going to your phone calls, then back to the list of the 22 rules for a relationship. And you tell us if you would put up with this stuff, or if you had to put up with something like this in a relationship in your past. But first, he's Free Market Penguin on the line in Virginia. Go ahead, Penguin.
Hey, I do want to say Horizon is great, and I think it has a great future. If you research that, definitely enter the contest. And I want to thank you, Darryl. I won.
Hey, congrats!
Excellent.
What did you win?
A bunch more Zen. I think it was either 1.5 or 1.75 Zen.
Nice.
And a good percentage increase in the amount of Zen. So you have a definitely good chance of winning if you enter this contest. So
free money. I mean, like, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Right?
I like money.
Yeah. You like
it's
money?
one of my favorite cryptos.
Okay. So what else?
I called about and hey, Jackie, congratulations on getting in the hot seat tonight.
Hi.
Hi. I wanted to call and talk about kind of what a meme that I've seen. I'm speaking in generalities here and not necessarily specific groups of people, but first I've seen it on one end where I've seen a meme like among right and far right libertarians, like say in the Discord, about there's left wing authoritarians, right wing authoritarians, libertarians on the kind of right end of the political spectrum, but that due to the fact that true liberty can't exist without property or property rights, that left libertarians simply do not exist. They actually believe in force, and they actually believe they require the state to.
Jackie, don't you describe yourself as a left libertarian?
Yes, I see somebody's trying to bait me.
Wait, so you just said they don't exist, but I'm looking at one right here in the studio. So what do you mean by they don't exist?
I don't actually hold that that's true.
Oh,
and okay. and on the same end of it,
you're saying the meme. You're saying the meme suggests they don't exist.
A lot of people suggest that doesn't make it. You cannot be for liberty if you don't believe in these certain normative things that kind of so-called right libertarians believe. And I've seen it in the other direction too. That I don't remember. Oh, in the same thing with people kind of left-leaning libertarians or left anarchists kind of believing that that kind of the same thing in the opposite direction, and saying that people are not really don't really believe in non-aggression and not coercion based on their beliefs, that really a lot of these certain beliefs are coercion or are forms of aggression. They're really fascist. You're not really an anarchist, you're a fascist, blah blah blah. So I've seen it in both directions, and I just want to know what you think about kind of the idea that if somebody says that their beliefs are based around the not using the initiation of force and not using coercion and the threat of force against other peaceful people, that shouldn't you take them for their word and then just kind of scrutinize their actions and hold them to that? Or do you want to just dismiss them and say, oh no, your ideas require the use of force because and it's usually because I say so. Like I like, it's not usually a.
Was there a question in there somewhere or a point? Because it seems like I'm a little lost. Jackie, I know you had your hand up.
Definitely. So the problem with right libertarians is they assume that their concept of property rights is some sort of natural law that has existed for all of time and will exist for all of time, like a law, like the laws of physics. And it's not. It's a institution, a human created institution that's been developed over centuries.
Right.
And it's like fish that can't see the water they're swimming in. They're like, oh, well, this is just the way it is. And
rights
in reality, reality, it's enforced by the state. And so left libertarians take a different view on property rights. We acknowledge the fact that, owning land and whatnot is something that's inherently requires a government. And
Wait. Hold on. I'm going to challenge you on that one.
Okay.
When you say it inherently requires a government to be able to own land, what do you mean by that?
Well, I'm talking about the difference between property and possession. So yeah, you can sit on land with a bunch of guns, and if somebody with more guns comes along and shoves you off and there's no government, who do you appeal to? So if you actually want to have
you would need to have
ownership,
somebody who could protect. Right. Yeah. Having ownership means being able to protect the thing that you own. So if you don't have enough guns, then you can't defend it. Ultimately, right now, the government threatens people's property by threatening them with guns. So, I mean, you can't really count on them for anything at all. I mean, the reason why property works is because it's an agreement, right? Because people believe in the idea of property. At least enough people believe in the idea of property. And in the absence of the government, we could still have a title system. You could still have, protection services. So do we need to have a monopoly on protection services in order to protect property, I guess? We can continue with the discussion here in moments. If you want to stick on for it, Penguin, you can. Moments here, Absolutely. You can join us as well. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. And I don't consider myself a right or a left libertarian. I just consider myself a voluntarist, a libertarian who believes that humans shouldn't be using aggressive force against each other. It's Free Talk Live.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
When you use public Wi-Fi, hackers and identity thieves can see anything you do online. Embarrassing photos, your web history, even your passwords. That's why I use private internet access to encrypt my internet connection for less than 10 cents a day. Sign up now at privateinternetaccess.com, and in just a few minutes, you'll be browsing anonymously and only sharing what you want to share. privateinternetaccess.com. It's time to protect your online privacy.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live, inviting you to join us here on the radio waves. We've got all kinds of stuff to talk about tonight, but you can take control of those airwaves toll-free at 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And there's also our Discord on-air call-in line rooms, which is where our current caller is, Free Market Penguin, sounding great, almost like he's sitting here in the studio with us. And in the studio, it's me, Ian.
Jackie.
And Darryl.
And you can, of course, bring up anything you want. Also, we're going to share a little bit about our AMP program with you. And I want to thank Jay Lawrence, who is a longtime Free Talk Live amplifier at the silver level, which is the standard amplifier level, $5 a month. He's contributing to the show. And that gives him some perquisites, some benefits that are nice that the average listeners don't receive, like access to the AMP-only Facebook group, as long as Facebook doesn't take it down, and also other things like the contributors, chat rooms on our Discord server. You get a special Free Talk Live badge if you're on our forum. There's the AMP-only podcast, which doesn't have the commercials that our normal podcast does. And there's some other perks as well. Go to amp.freetalklive.com. You can sign up there with credit card. You can use PayPal, and you can also use BTC, Bitcoin. So head over to amp.freetalklive.com and help us amp the show to advertise, market, and promote Free Talk Live. We got Free Market Penguin here. He brought up some kind of meme, which I haven't seen, and I don't know what it was, but it led us to discuss the issue of left versus right libertarianism. And honestly, this isn't something that comes up too often here on Free Talk Live, because I don't know that we have many, if any, hosts until now, with Jackie here, who have described themselves as either right or left libertarian. And during the break, I asked the question, what are the other issues? Because we're talking about property rights right now and how there's a difference between the purported left and right libertarians on how they view property rights. But I was wondering, are there any other issues on which left libertarians and so-called right libertarians differ from normal libertarians or whatever?
And since you identify, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't identify as a right libertarian or left libertarian.
I'm just a voluntarist.
I do associate with a good many people that describe themselves as left libertarian, and it seems to me that the only difference is a different view about property. And
when you say property, do you mean, and this may be a question for you, Jackie, do you mean land? Or do you mean like
basically
the car?
Real estate?
Okay, so not like the car that you drive or the toothbrush that you use.
This is one of the questions that I've had of, all right, so if we abolish property, do I keep my own underpants? And do I have my own bed? Or do I just, one day come home and somebody has my underpants and is laying in my bed and I don't want them there?
So that brings up a good question about what can be property. What can you own? Who can own it? What rights do property rights convey? So there's personal property like your toothbrush and your underwear. There's land, natural resources, etc. And even with land, there's questions of like, how high up, how far down, does it include the water, does it include the wildlife?
These are things people have been arguing about for a long time.
Yes, and then there's also, can you own people? Okay, can you own your children? Can you own an idea? And when talking about who can own what,
is that a difference between? Sorry to interrupt, but you mentioned children, and there's definitely a schism within the let's say the liberty movement here in New Hampshire between the people who believe they own their children and the people who believe their children are independent individuals who can make choices on their own. Is that a left-right difference?
I haven't seen that discussed. The primary ways I've seen left libertarianism used to distinguish from other forms of libertarianism is property issues, and then specifically the land, and then also sometimes people use it to mean that they prioritize social issues, the social issue aspect of libertarianism. So they're more into what would be
you own your own body.
Yeah, and some people use it to mean that that's what they prioritize. But the big fundamental philosophical difference is about the right to own land.
Okay.
Do we all morally own the earth in common, or can people, legitimately own land privately and just have private profit from it and not owe the rest of society anything for that? And so some take it. Oh,
go ahead, Penguin.
I was gonna say, if I can butt in, so relatively recently, I've been kind of, I would say almost, I hate to use this overused term, red-pilled on the idea of property being kind of a construct of the state, kind of a human construct that does not inherent. I think it can exist morally. I mean, if you pay for something and you have a receipt, nobody should take it from you. But beyond that, it's a kind of an agreement that's enforced by the state monopoly on force, this so-called monopoly on force, and it's a little bit of a disagreement in the Discord whether that's appropriate. But the claim monopoly on force, and then without that, the idea that you have an inherent right over a property or a large thing, like I say, a car, truck, or capital, what you would call it, capital goods, but mainly land, without your presence and use of that land, that you just have some kind of inherent right because of your name on a piece of paper. I mean, that's always been a construct enforced by the state. So in a stateless market-based society, it's not that it sounds radical and socialist to so many people, which is why so many people, libertarians and even anarchists, react so negatively to this idea. But I mean,
to the idea of that you have to actually do something with property in order to have a valid claim over it. Is that what the idea is you're talking about?
Yeah, well, that our normative property rights that we have in our current society really don't apply to a market-based stateless society, you know, and I don't think they do.
One reason that I'm a minarchist and not an anarchist is I do believe the anarcho-communists have a much more realistic vision of what would happen to property rights without a state. If you're a landlord and you own 5 different houses in, 5 different places around the country, and tomorrow morning we wake up and there's no government, you're at best collecting rent on one of those. And everybody else is just going to be like, I occupy this house, I'm not paying rent anymore. You may want to hire a private enforcer to go collect rent for you, but it's worth more to the people living in that house to pay them off than it's going to be worth it for you to pay them to try and run these people out. So you're saying you believe that property rights are so disdained that people will just stop paying rent if there's no monopoly on violence around? I don't think it would be 100%, but I do think that you have to have. You
said it was 4 out of 5.
No, I'm saying good luck collecting rent on 4 out of 5. You may do it. But some people won't.
What you're saying is that if the government, the monopoly on force, were to go away tomorrow, and you had 5 houses, that you believe that 80% of those houses would stop paying rent?
She said 5 houses spread out across the country.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say that you've got a house in California.
Yeah.
And you almost never go out to California. The tenant that's living in California probably isn't going to just send you a check.
But they have been the whole time. You're saying they would stop doing that? You're saying people who were rent-paying tenants would all of a sudden just stop?
Some will and some won't, but they're doing it out of the goodness of their own heart and not because they have to.
Well, that's what we do. We humans come to agreements, right? So we have the right to contract. It's kind of an inherent thing that we've come to an agreement on. Again, rights are just an agreement, right? So if people don't believe in the right, if people don't follow their belief in that right, then it doesn't exist. If enough people don't believe in it, it doesn't exist. So while I might believe that someone in California is more likely to behave in the way that you're talking about, the evidence is that that person had been honoring their agreement. And the reason, presumably, why people honor their agreements is because it benefits us, not because there's a police force out there that might do something if you go and file the right paperwork in the right order with the right fees. The reason why people do the right thing, which is to say honor their agreements, is because it benefits them. They don't want to have a bad reputation by dishonoring their agreements. So I hope you're wrong with your assessment that 80% of renters would all of a sudden just decide, you know what, screw the agreement that I signed, screw all the good payments that I made towards this landlord who's been taking care of this property, and was responsible for its upkeep and all that. I'm just going to stop paying for it and take a free house. Really? You think people are that dishonest?
I hope I'm wrong too, but
Thank you, Penguin, for the call tonight. I appreciate it. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. I believe in people, and I think that for the most part, people are good, and they will do the things that they say they're going to do. The evidence for it is all around us every single day. People don't behave well simply because there's a man with a gun out there somewhere. It's Free Talk Live.
This November, I'm running the New York City Marathon as a member of Team Innocence Project because I'm a passionate supporter of their work. 2018 has been a banner year for the Innocence Project. Since January, 9 of their clients have walked free. Innocent people who combined to serve more than 200 years in prison for crimes they did not commit. And because of the Innocence Project, the risk of being wrongfully convicted has been greatly reduced for millions of people. October 2nd is International Wrongful Conviction Day. It's an opportunity to draw attention to the countless innocent men and women who remain behind bars and the need to reform our broken criminal justice system to prevent wrongful convictions. At any given time, the Innocence Project represents 200 clients who need their help to prove their innocence. This year, the Innocence Project helped pass a first-in-the-nation prosecutorial oversight law in New York and eyewitness identification reforms in New Hampshire and Louisiana. You can help the Innocence Project by going to run.freetalklive.com. That's run.freetalklive.com.
Times are changing. The circus of politics, healthcare's low standards and high prices, and let's not forget food quality. What to do? Arm yourself with Life Change Tea at GetTheTea.com. In a world of chemical imbalance and poor air and water quality, it's time you make a move. Log on to GetTheTea.com and stock up on organic non-GMO supplements. Don't forget the tea. Cleansing your body never felt so good. And we have a brand new tea called Takedown Tea, which helps support healthy glucose. All natural body support so you can be at your best, naturally. All you have to do is log on to GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. We're not a fad that comes and goes. We are the real deal. Join us and armor up. GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Changing America's health one tea bag at a time.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
How many lawyers does it take to change a light bulb? None. They'd rather keep their clients in the dark. There are too many lawyer jokes to count. However, there are some lawyers with more noble intentions. At the Institute for Justice, we bring the light to our clients. We are a non-profit public interest law firm with clear values and principles. At IJ, we fight for those whose most basic rights are denied by the government. Visit our website today at ij.org.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can dial in toll-free right here. The number is 855-450-FREE. We're talking about property rights and human behavior and, why people behave the way they do in certain circumstances. The toll-free number, if you want to join us here, is 855-450-FREE. We can get back to human relationships with the super controlling relationship contract with 22 points that we will continue with here when we get a chance. Also want to let you know about the Tom Woods podcast. A lot of libertarians learned about Tom Woods during the Ron Paul campaigns of 2008 and 2012. Tom is a New York Times best-selling author and has written over a dozen books, including The Politically Incorrect Guide to American History, since September of 2013. He's been putting out the Tom Woods Show every single weekday, which means he's racked up over 1,200 episodes so far. Guests like Ron Paul, Judge Andrew Napolitano, David Stockman, and hundreds more, including topics like war, the Federal Reserve, net neutrality, the FDA, Austrian economics, and other subjects of interest to libertarians. You can find the Tom Woods Show online at tomwoods.com or search for Tom Woods Show in your favorite podcatcher. Let's go to the phones. To the fun, let's talk to Straight Razor. He's on the line in Texas. Straight Razor, you're on with Ian, Jackie, and Darryl.
Good evening.
Hey.
So the reason I was calling in was because I find it hard to believe that under the current environment, it would be hard for a left or right-leaning libertarian to achieve what they're trying to do, whether it be left or right. So if the government were to go away, then I think it would be possible because you could choose, you could opt out of whatever beliefs were in your community. So you could move, or you could, in effect, escape those ideas that you didn't like or appreciate. Currently, that is not possible. So you elect someone who is left-leaning and they enact a bunch of laws. I can't just say, hey,
No,
I
thanks.
opt out.
Yeah.
Because then the government will come and enforce said laws.
Right. And I think that what you're talking about is what we need to have happen. We need to have, the federal government needs to go away. And then, I'd like to see state governments go away. But if we're going to have governments, then it'd be better to have 50 competing state governments and then have places where people who have similar beliefs about property can go to be around other people who have those beliefs. Because there's no point in, fundamentally arguing over the basics of what people believe on property. You're not going to change everybody's mind. You're never going to change everybody's mind. So it makes the most sense to make a deliberate movement towards a group of people that are already on board with you. That way you can have the kind of society that you want to have. But you're right, we're not there yet.
Exactly. And that's why, yeah, you can be libertarian, you can believe whatever other facets of the world you would like to believe, but if you were to actually act on those in the current situation, you would be, imposing those beliefs on all of the other individuals who may not believe it. So in effect, you would be going against libertarianism.
Well, I mean, if I just simply act on my beliefs, I'm not imposing them on anybody. But if you are taking over the government, then you are imposing the government leaving people alone. I mean, ideally, if libertarians get their way, they want to have the government leave people alone. But yes, you would impose the government leaving people alone on people if you can say that. But I guess you can, depending on how you look at it.
What I was saying is in the current situation where you have a federal government, if you impose a law, say you're left or right, if you impose a left-leaning law in the current situation, then you are imposing that on everybody, not just yourself and your community.
Right.
So the way things currently are, if you go either way and impose a law, then you're kind of going against your libertarian belief. Because
well, yeah, I mean, if the law is designed to control others, then you're definitely imposing upon the rights of others. But if the law is to, say, strike a bunch of laws off the books, like if in New Hampshire,
and there are people that misunderstand libertarianism that would say you're then imposing your views on other people.
Right. Technically, you are. You're imposing your view that people should be left alone by this concept known as the state. But it's not the same thing as imposing your view with violence on
not
those people.
Incarcerating people for possessing a plant is not imposing anything on anyone.
Yeah, if let's say, you're probably not going to get elected this time around, Darryl, but if you were to get elected as a state rep here this November and put in a bill to just strike prohibitions out of the criminal statutes here in New Hampshire, just strike them wholesale out of there. With no regulation, with no taxation.
Right. So just strike a bunch of stuff and then add the sentence, because unfortunately we would need to add a sentence to say that in accordance with the Controlled Substances Act, fill in the blank is not one.
Yeah. So if you were to strike a bunch of stuff out, that's not really the same thing as imposing something on someone by force, right? In this point, if you still are a drug prohibitionist, you can still choose not to do drugs, and you can still tell people to not do drugs or whatever.
Right.
You just can't use the guns of the government to force people to do that. So I mean, it's a strange way to say that that's imposing on somebody, but I guess you could still make that argument.
But it's the same way that, if I'm on a diet and someone's eating a brownie, they're violating my diet that they're not following. Like the conservatives do this all the time of your marriage violates my religion.
Okay. Well, I'm not in your religion.
Right, but it's the same thing about, you ate a brownie that I can't eat because of my diet.
Straight Razor, other comments? Go ahead.
No, sir, that was pretty much it.
Thanks, man. I appreciate hearing from you tonight. Our toll-free number, if you want to join us here, 855-450 free like freedom. Let's talk to Ben. He's in Texas. Ben, you're on Free Talk Live, listening online.
Hey, guys. Hey, this is Ben Lutter. Libertarian candidate for president. This question is for Jackie Mason and Darryl Perry, two of my favorite Libertarians. So let's talk about property rights of a different kind. Lately, there's been a lot of discussion about the Facebook purge, and there's been discussion for a private company. Well, I'm curious, and something I've been pushing for is using activist investor techniques, because when we own shares of said private company, we now are owners, co-owners in said private company, and we can show up to their annual share meeting. And I know for 100% fact that Darryl Perry is a beast on the floor at convention. And I would love to see Darryl Perry and several other Libertarians on the floor at these annual shareholder meetings of Facebook, Twitter, and so forth. What do you guys think?
Why would I want to go to a Facebook or Twitter shareholders meeting?
To stand up for the principles that you believe in.
I've definitely heard of people doing this form of activism before, where they buy like a minimal number of shares in a company so that they have a right to enter the meetings and speak. I don't know a lot about the history or success rate of it, and I'm thinking if people got very far with it, they would probably come up with some meeting rules to lock it down. But it sounds like you're more of an expert on it. Do you know more about how successful it's been in past instances with companies?
Have you done this? Have you yourself done this?
I have not done it, but as an investor,
how can you advocate what other people do if you yourself have never been willing to do it?
I just found out about it recently, and I'll give you the example. The anti-gun lobby has been doing this with companies like Storm Ruger, and they'll buy a minimal number of shares, like Jackie said, and they will show up and they will advocate that the board adopt policies that are actually not in favor of the company's interests, but are in favor of the gun lobby. So if the enemies of freedom can employ these tactics, why can't we employ these tactics?
The enemies of freedom also wind up throwing, like manhole covers through storefront windows.
I'm sorry, but this to me just seems like such a pointless task and so counter to...
Hold on. So, Ian, we've attempted to do something similar to this. Not with Twitter, not with Facebook.
I know what you're talking about. The thing we can't talk about?
The thing that we can't talk about, but there's a small business here that has something kind of like shareholder meetings.
Yeah.
And we show up and just get outvoted.
Yeah, okay. I understand that.
So if there's only one person instead of a concentrated effort of a dozen people...
Sure, but what you're talking about here is different, okay? Darryl, the thing you're talking about, and again, I don't want to get into details on this because we're not supposed to talk about it, and I wish we wouldn't even have gone this far, but regardless, you're talking about a organization that is fully owned by the people who are...
It's a member-owned entity.
That's completely different than what the caller here, Ben, is talking about, which is to say you're then buying shares in a corporation. Most of these corporations are set up to where somebody's got control of 51% of them, so therefore your
generally
votes,
the CEO.
Right, so therefore your votes are ultimately a completely futile waste of time if you were to actually go to one of these meetings or whatever, if they even have, a physical meeting that you can go to instead of just, you can vote on who our board members are online or in some other process. But stand by, Ben, if you want to continue the discussion here, you can. Toll-free number, 855-450-FREE.
Let's talk tough. Let's talk comfort. Let's talk about down-home value. Made in the USA blue jeans, like you wore as a kid. Remember?
There's a place down in Tennessee where they make blue diamond gusset jeans. They so pride in every stitch. Guarantee you'll love the way they fit. They put a diamond gusset in the crotch where you need it most. Blue diamond gussets got it, others don't.
For good old-fashioned comfort, get Diamond Gusset jeans. Every stitch guaranteed. And our Defender motorcycle jean comes Kevlar reinforced. See them at GUSSET.com, that's gusset.com, or call 888-848-7738. That's 888-848-7738. Diamond Gusset jeans got it, others don't.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, You know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, October 15th, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.75 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,232 per ounce. Zen is trading at $14, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,566. Antiwar.com reports dozens of Afghan police and soldiers were killed Saturday night into Sunday morning in the Farah and Zabul provinces in a series of Taliban attacks, mostly targeting Afghan military checkpoints. Exact death tolls are unclear, with Afghan officials reporting 20 killed and the Taliban reporting 25 killed in Farah, along with the district police chief slain in Mizan. Officials also report at least 11 soldiers were captured. The Taliban have been stepping up attacks in recent weeks, hitting checkpoints in remote parts of Afghanistan. In such areas, the security forces almost never have enough fighters to hold them off without reinforcements, and coordinated attacks means Afghan officials have to decide which places get reinforcements. In the lead up to parliamentary elections, such attacks are underscoring how much worse security across Afghanistan is getting, and that the Afghan government's abilities to provide any security at all is very limited. Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need Spend a Bit, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spend a Bit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spendabit.co. UPI reports Sears Holding has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy and will close nearly 150 stores by the end of the year, according to the iconic retailer on Monday. Sears said 142 stores would close in the next 3 months. That's in addition to the 46 stores earlier targeted for closure. The longtime American shopping mall anchor is trying to stave off a complete shutdown of not only Sears department stores, but also Kmart stores that it owns. As of August, the 132-year-old company had 506 locations, including 482 full-line department stores, as well as 360 Kmart stores. Sears had a $134 million debt payment due Monday that it could not afford, prompting the bankruptcy filing. The company will remain in business during the proceedings. Eddie Lampert resigned as CEO, but the company says he will remain as chair. He made several debt deals that kept the company afloat, but did not appear to have a strategy to turn the company around. He's also one of the company's largest investors, so he'll be a debtor and creditor during the bankruptcy proceedings. Lampert said in a statement, "While we have made progress, the plan has yet to deliver the results we have desired." Lampert is using his hedge fund to purchase the Kenmore brand from Sears. The Craftsman brand of lawn equipment and tools has already been sold. Zencash is now Horizon. Horizon is a privacy platform built on zero-knowledge technology with a decentralized secure node architecture. The Horizon platform enables real-life uses beyond currency, including the ability to privately chat with other people. Soon, Horizon will enable you to publish information and go anywhere on the web, all with complete privacy. Horizon, bringing privacy to life. Learn more at horizon.global. HORIZEN.global. Reuters reports President Donald Trump said over the weekend that separating migrant families at the border could deter undocumented immigration and that he was considering several options to tighten border security. In June, Trump abandoned his policy of separating immigrant children from their parents at the U.S.-Mexico border after images of youngsters in cages sparked outrage at home and abroad. But some Trump administration officials have said the policy, under which 2,600 children were separated from their parents, was needed to secure the border and deter undocumented immigration. Trump seemed to support that argument over the weekend, telling reporters at the White House if they feel there will be separation, they don't come. Trump also claimed, without providing evidence, that immigrants were grabbing children and they're using children to come into our country in many cases. He stopped short, however, of committing to a new round of family separations. Again, calling for Congress to pass immigration legislation, Trump said, "We're looking at a lot of different things having to do with illegal immigration. We're going to do whatever we can to get it slowed down." A government audit released earlier this month said the Trump administration's zero-tolerance immigration crackdown at the U.S.-Mexico border earlier this year was plagued by a lack of preparation, resource shortfalls, and communication failures. The audit found that hundreds of migrant children were detained for longer than the 3-day limit allowed at U.S. Border Patrol facilities, including one who was held for at least 25 days. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
It's the Onion Radio News. Raccoon leaders call for the loosening of garbage can lids. This is Doyle Redland reporting. In a 4 a.m. speech at the group's annual Washington, D.C. convention this morning, North American Raccoon Federation President Bristletail called upon homeowners to loosen the lids of their garbage cans, providing the ring-tailed mammals with greater access to discarded food scraps during nocturnal scavenging.
Every time you seal a standard 30-gallon garbage can, as many as 6 raccoons are forced to go without their necessary daily supply of congealed baked beans, rancid cottage cheese chunks, and moldy cantaloupe rinds.
The 26-pound varmint closed his speech with a stern warning that without raccoons, possums could take over the world. Doyle Redland for the Onion Radio News, online at theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can dial in toll-free here. You can bring up whatever you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And we've got the Discord on-air call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. Oh, by the way, Free Talk Live is brought to you by Bitcoin.com. So if you want to learn about cryptocurrency, that's a great place to go and get started. They've got the Bitcoin.com Academy there, where you can learn the basics about Bitcoin BTC and Bitcoin Cash, BCH. Go to Bitcoin.com. For those of you just tuning in, with you in the studio tonight, it's Ian,
Jackie,
and Darryl.
We were just talking with, and he's still on the line, Ben in Texas, who has identified himself as, sounds like a libertarian activist. He says he knows the both of you guys, and that, Ben, it sounds like you've gone to these Libertarian Party meetings that Darryl likes to go to, the National Libertarian Party meetings. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
And so you called in. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well, I was just recapping here for listeners just tuning in. So you called in to talk about, let's say, like the Facebook controversy last week where they took down hundreds of pages. We talked about this in detail on Friday night's episode of Free Talk Live. But targeting pages such as Cop Block or the Free Thought Project and others, very pro-liberty, police accountability pages, taking them down. You were talking about how people in your mind, now you've never actually done this, but that people should buy shares of the organizations that they disagree with and then go and try to change them from the inside. That's basically your position?
Yes, and I realize that I've never done this because it's something I recently found out about while looking into shares of Storm Ruger. And this is something that's been going on since the 17th century. It happens a lot more than you think, and it takes many forms of proxy battles. What will happen is there's a lot of investors out there that own small amounts of shares that may sympathize with our cause, and they will throw their votes behind us. So I know we might walk in there with just a few shares, But if our cause is worthy, more and more small shareholders begin to throw their weight behind us, and it has an effect. Not to mention, these things are publicized, and it makes a lot of waves. And it's something that...
When's the last time anybody here's ever heard about someone making waves at a Facebook meeting or whatever? I know, Jackie, you did pull up an article about somebody getting thrown out of somewhere, but, I mean, has anybody actually heard of anybody going to do this and making
I've never
waves?
even heard of this until he called in.
I've heard of it. I think it was a bigger tactic back in the 70s and 80s, but they're shutting down people who try to do this. Like I looked it up during the break, and instead of finding examples of people successfully doing it, I'm finding examples of people who showed up to meetings. They were shareholders. They should have been allowed in under the rules, and they just told them throw them out by security. So it's like, how do you force these corporations to play by their own rules and let you into the meetings if they don't want to? I mean, do you have the budget to hire a lawyer and go head to head against a major corporation? So this tactic only works as much as the corporations are willing to play by their own rules and accommodate you, and not all of them are.
Plus, their rules are basically going to be set up to where you don't have any real effect because somebody's got controlling ability over that corporation.
Right, and I just pulled something up from Harvard, from their corporate governance law school, about the changing face of shareholder activism. Not going to read the entire thing, but they show a graph, or it's actually two pie charts, showing the percentage of total outstanding U.S. equities held by institutional shareholders. In 1950, it was 6.1%. In 2016, it's 70%.
Let's be clear what that means. Institutional shareholders, in a lot of cases, are governments. They are organizations like municipalities that have taken taxpayer dollars and invested them in corporations, giving them, in some cases, controlling ability if they were to pool their votes.
They describe institutional investors as long-term shareholders, some of which are placed in index funds.
So, Ben, I'm sorry. I just got to say, I know you called asking for Darryl and Jackie's opinions, but I want to weigh in on this as well. This seems, I'm not sure which is more futile. If it's more futile to try to go to a Facebook shareholders meeting to elect some board of director person to try to change Facebook from the inside, or to actually try to change the Libertarian Party from the inside at a Libertarian Party national convention. And I know, Jackie, this is one of the things you and I agree on, is that Darryl should focus his efforts in New Hampshire and forget about the national LP, right? Because isn't it pointless?
Well, we agree on that for different reasons. You think it's pointless. I have people who are like, can you please keep him from meddling and running for president again? Or
I have no intentions of doing either of those things. And there are people, the more conservatives, that are upset that I worked with Sarah Daggers and Starchild to add the sex work plank to the platform that passed overwhelmingly.
It's true.
I don't know why you're yelling at me.
Go ahead, Ben.
I'm not presenting this as some kind of magic bullet, but I can say within the last year, these tactics were effectively employed at a Storm Ruger, the gun company, at one of their shareholder meetings.
And it's Sturm Ruger, not Storm Ruger.
Didn't you work for them?
I worked for a contractor for them.
So Ben, while I personally am skeptical about how effective this tactic would be, I don't want to be somebody who discourages, people from trying out different forms of activism.
Yeah,
because
it's your time. You can waste it however you want.
Well, everybody has different interests and different talents. And so if this is your interest, try it. Come back to us. Let us know how it works. If it is working for, left-wing gun rights opponents, maybe we can make it work for us. Maybe it's something where, they wise up and start throwing people out of the meetings. But please do try using it for libertarian ends and let the rest of us know how well that works. Because I'm very curious, and I'm always looking for, new ways to, attack creeping authoritarianism in the world. So...
Absolutely. And getting thrown out of events is nothing new for a libertarian activist. So I expect that.
Ben, are you referring, just to be clear, you mentioned Sturm Ruger. I found an article here from, looks like earlier this year, May of 2018. Sturm Ruger shareholders approve proposal for gunmaker to report on risks of its business. Is that the story you're talking about, where it's the Northwest Coalition for Responsible Investment that has gotten involved there?
That sounds similar to what I'm talking about,
Yeah,
the time frame.
We're going to talk about that story coming up here in a moment, because it's one thing to just say, hey, this thing worked, or you heard this thing worked. We're going to dig in a little deeper and see exactly what it was that purportedly happened here.
Not a magic bullet, but it's...
Well, here's the problem. Okay, so like I said, people can do whatever they want. If you like having a hobby that involves watching wrestling or football or singing karaoke or whatever it is, we all have time that we pass until we finally die, right? So we can choose the ways we do that. Some things are more effective than others, and to me, if there's a company that's doing a thing that I don't like, for me, my time is much better spent actually building an alternative to that company, rather than begging and pleading and trying to take over from the inside that company. I am not interested in changing Facebook and how they behave. I'm much more interested in going somewhere else and either finding an existing alternative and supporting that existing alternative, like, let's say, the Mastodon platform, which is decentralized. By the way, Taryn Lupo just showed up on the Liberdon today. He saw, the former co-host here on Free Talk Live, he saw my plug of Mastodon on my appearance on RT. Showed up, created an account, and it looks like he's liking it so far. So why would I want to go spend a bunch of time changing Facebook, this behemoth, this corporate behemoth that by all evidence is evil, and you're certainly not going to stop them from interacting with the government in the way that they do, no matter how much effort you put into it, when I could just spend my time going and signing up on the Liberdon server at liberdon.com and create my own account there and start promoting that instead? Why bother?
Well, that's up to each of us, but I'm the guy who says, you know what, let's use every tool in the tool chest. And
let me know when you actually start using this tool and how it goes for you, Ben. I thank you for the call tonight. Appreciate it. Toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And I do have this article pulled up about this Sturm Ruger purported shareholders tactic.
All right.
And so we'll see what CNBC's report on this has to say. Of course, you're welcome to join us as well. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. And we've also got the Discord on-air call-in line rooms. You can join us there, discord.lrn.fm.
Crimes of the Crown by Captain Mark. The Crown casts the world in shadow and claims to be our guiding light. Cowards clamor for security from boogeymen and ghost stories, while I say these hobgoblins are imaginary. I say those they propped up as our liberators are now subsisting on our bondage. I say there is freedom in the black, and that's exactly where we intend to go. The Crown banishes its own officers for exposing its crimes and tortures dissidents to the brink of madness. It dominates the globe and swallows the wealth of generations, leaving only blood and excrement. The Crown calls it piracy to explore frontiers beyond its grasp. So the time has come for us to define the conduct among pirates. I say the Crown has trampled our necks long enough. Need decentralized solutions to centralized problems? Looking for a community of like-minded scoundrels? Or just want some swag to let the Crown know what you think of it? Join the conversation at pirateswithoutborders.com. We won't be hard to find.
Your property and your family are precious. Protect them with Blink, like we have. Blink motion-activated HD cameras are wire-free, set up fast, and their batteries last up to 2 years. And Blink's live feed option lets you monitor what's happening at home anytime, anywhere from your smartphone. No contracts, no subscriptions, and Blink works with Alexa. You can get 3 Blink cameras for way less than the other guys, plus an extra 15% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
We're being attacked by news from all sides in tonight's News Blitz.
Now we're homing in on Houston, Texas, where NASA announced today that the crew of the International Space Station has successfully completed their 13-year mission studying man's ability to constantly repair a large object in space. NASA officials hailed the remarkable feat of maintenance at a press conference this afternoon.
And throughout human history, man has gazed at the stars and dreamed of fixing something up there. People once thought the ultimate feat in human repair was a really big boat. Today, we've accomplished so much more.
This comes in the wake of NASA's previous success, finding out how many times an astronaut could hold something in his hand, then let it go, watch it float in front of his face for a bit, then catch it again. All right, dust yourself off. You have survived the news blitz.
Tune in tomorrow morning to Today Now. We'll look back at Jim's week as a polygamist.
Oh, it's going to be fun.
This is the Onion News Network.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Nestle Toll House Morsels, helping you create special moments and memories your family will cherish forever. Visit us at tollhouse.com. You may bake for birthdays and holidays, but why stop there? Sweeten up the rest of the year by designating monthly dessert days. Treat your family to one of their favorites or surprise them with something new. Either way, you'll create a tradition everyone will love. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can take control of the airwaves here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've also got our Discord chat, which you can join over at discord.lrn.fm. And there is another chat. There's the Twitch chat, which isn't really that busy. It's not really a place where people do much chatting, but every now and then somebody will pop in there. And I am in there, so I am monitoring the Twitch chat. But there's a newer chat participant there, Chuck, who is he seems concerned that we're not paying enough attention to the Twitch chat, and I just wanted to kind of explain the reason why. It's because we're not primarily on Twitch. This show's been around since 2002, which was before video was even really streamable on the on the internet.
Right.
You could get video on the internet, but it was usually really small
Grainy.
window, not the best quality. And now Twitch is amazing as far as video quality is concerned, and it is a great platform, but it was originally intended for game streamers, people who are streaming their video games, and that's probably 95% of what you're going to find. If you go on twitch.tv, that's what you're likely going to see there. But they did expand a couple of years ago their categories to allow for other kinds of content. And so when I was given the chance to look for a new video streaming provider earlier this year, I chose Twitch, and it's been great so far. But Twitch is more of a also. We're also on Twitch, right? We've got 190 radio stations that air us on AM and FM across the United States at various times throughout the week. We've got, of course, live streaming audio through our website and LRN.FM. And we're on satellite, free-to-air satellite over sub-Saharan Africa and North and Central America. So while I can understand where Chuck is coming from in his concern that, we need to be interacting more on the air with the Twitch chat, because that's what he's used to when he watches. Because if you watch one of the video game streamers, they're constantly, as long as they're not like, in the midst of some sort of firefight in the video game they're playing, because it's kind of hard to concentrate on, shooting everything that moves and also read what's going on in your chat room at the same time. As long as it's like a more down-tempo game where you can easily kind of look over at the chat window, it's fun to, interact with the chat. It adds an extra level of interactivity, and I agree with Chuck that it definitely is more welcoming. But we can't Can you imagine how bad radio it would be if we were like, every time somebody likes our stream or comes into the chat room or says something, that we're like, welcome to the chat, Chuck. Like, welcome to the channel, Jimmy, or whatever, right? Like, that wouldn't be that wouldn't be a listenable radio show. It might be an interesting podcast if there's a very small... Not even a podcast, because then you got audience listening later. Podcast is a downloadable thing. Right. Twitch chat's only for live interactions.
Right, so I say that as somebody that listens to a podcast that does... Their podcast is the audio of their Twitch stream, and they read off certain chats out of the Twitch, and then, if somebody winds up buying some of their merch during the show, they'll read, this guy in this town just bought a thing from us.
Plus, I mean, the Twitchers are really good at being, some of them are not so good at it, but some of them are pretty good at trolling. So I'll read something here from here now. Red Monkey Barrow says, so what you're saying is we're not important enough for you. No, what I'm saying is that nobody is important enough for us to read off a list of chatters or whatever it is that's going on. Every now and then we'll reference it, right? Like sometimes I'll get on and I'll say, in the Discord chat they're talking about fill in the blank, whatever it is they're talking about. I don't know what they're talking about right now. I think they're making fun of Zach, who's one of the chatters in there. They found his mugshot or something like that. I think that went by a few minutes ago. So every now and then we will highlight what is going on in these places. But the most important people to a talk show, besides the fact that there are listeners out there. If we don't have listeners, we don't have a show, right? Because nobody's listening. But as far as the elements of the show are concerned, it's the callers. And so if you want to be that important, just get on the lines. We've got open phones at 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Or, and I recommend this, you join our Discord server. You can still chat in the Twitch chat if that's where you prefer. But you do have to join the Discord if you want to get on our Discord call-in lines and sound like you're in the studio, like Gene the Christian Anarchist. And that's how you guarantee to get your name on the radio, is you call the show. It's talk radio. That's what we do. Gene, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead. Gene? Are you there? Yeah, he's unmuted. I don't know why he's not talking. Maybe there's some technical issue on his side. Normally, Gene works out pretty good and he sounds great, so we'll probably try to get him on here shortly. The toll-free number tonight is 855-450-FREE. So here's the story that I think it was Ben who called in a few moments ago. I believe he was referring to from CNBC, a group of nuns and other faith-based investors won a shareholder vote at Sturm, Ruger & Company, requiring, this is earlier this year, requiring one of the nation's largest gun makers to prepare a report about the risks of its business. Ruger's CEO, Christopher Killoy, said at the company's annual meeting on Wednesday that the company will comply and prepare the report. He said shareholders have spoken. But, he added, the winning proposal, quote, cannot force us to change our business and cannot change what Ruger is about and what we stand for, unquote. So there he is saying, okay, we'll do your report, but we're still going to sell guns. So, I mean, do you think that you're going to be able to take over Ruger? Because the caller was suggesting taking over somehow these shareholders' meetings.
We need to buy shares of McDonald's and have them stop selling Big Macs.
So he said that the winning was the first major test this year for faith-based shareholder groups, which have been urging the nation's gun industry to act after recent examples of gun violence. The shareholder groups have reached out to big banks and investment firms for their support, an effort that has paid off in this instance. BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager and Sturm Ruger's largest shareholder because of its giant index fund business, voted its 2.8 million shares in favor of the shareholder proposal, a source told CNBC. Vanguard is the second largest shareholder, though its vote is unknown. A spokesperson wasn't immediately available. Specifically, the proposal, backed by Catholic Health Initiatives and the Northwest Coalition for Responsible Investment, asks gunmakers like Sturm Ruger to prepare a report about the financial and reputational risks associated with their business. The shareholders plan to introduce a similar proposal on the proxy of American Outdoor Brands, another gunmaker that typically holds its meetings in the fall. Two major shareholder voting advisory firms, Institutional Shareholder Services and Glass Lewis, threw their support behind the proposal, while Sturm Ruger's board had advised against it. Since a February shooting at the Florida high school that left 17 people dead, there has been a surge of activism to stop further gun violence involving a range of constituents, from the high school students who survived the shooting to major banks, retailers, and investment firms. We've heard of banks closing accounts, for instance, for some of these gun manufacturers. Colleen Scanlon, Chief Advocacy Officer of Catholic Health Initiatives, who was present at the meeting to introduce the proposal, said, quote, "A new momentum has emerged over these last few months. It's so significant that a majority of shareholders are asking their company to consider gun safety." BlackRock said in a note to clients in March that it would reach out to the gun makers to try to get them to talk about their business, and added that it could use its position as a major shareholder to vote against directors and in favor of shareholder proposals. Look, even if this were true, that you could actually have some sort of substantive change to these companies, and basically the CEO is like, yeah, you're not going to stop us from doing this stuff.
Right.
Even if you could, it would just mean that companies would stop going public, right? They would just stay private, and they'd keep their rules to themselves. More coming up here in moments. This is Free Talk Live.
When you use public Wi-Fi, hackers and identity thieves can see anything you do online. Embarrassing photos, your web history, even your passwords. That's why I use private internet access to encrypt my internet connection for less than 10 cents a day. Sign up now at privateinternetaccess.com, and in just a few minutes, you'll be browsing anonymously and only sharing what you want to share. privateinternetaccess.com. It's time to protect your online privacy.
The United States of Empire is a book that claims the United States is the empire of the world. George Washington had warned us against foreign wars. The United States of Empire shows that World Wars I and II left England broken. Its former colony, the U.S., had to save the empire. Was there ever a vote? Who do we fight for? The deep state began with World War I. The United States of Empire by James Dunn. Available at Amazon Books.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadati.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
Excuse me, is this where I get a license to start a new business?
I wouldn't be hasty. You have to get a license to go out of business, too, you know.
Oh, well, look, I've invented this little anti-gravity machine, see?
Oh, is that why you're walking 2 inches above the floor?
Oh, yes, it's very comfortable. It saves on shoe leather.
Yeah, well, you have to fill out these forms and report to the Human Services Department of Manpower Orientation and register with the Fair Employment Practice Commission, the Wage and Hour Division of the Employment Standards Administration, the State Sales and Income Tax Division, the Internal Revenue Service, and the Social Security Administration of the Department of Health, Education, and Welfare, and, of course, OSHA.
OSHA? I thought that was a little town in Wisconsin.
You'll find out. Say, floating around like that could be dangerous. Have you checked with the Consumer Product Safety Commission?
Well, not yet.
Come to think of it, you actually are flying, aren't you? Look, you need to go over to the Federal Aviation Administration and the Transportation...
It's very hard to get anything done these days if you're in business, but free enterprise built this country.
Think what could happen if we don't keep it free. A public service of this station and the Center for the Defense of Free Enterprise, Bellevue, Washington.
We just can't have people floating about unregulated, you know.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. You can dial in here toll free to join us on the radio. Our number is 855-450-FREE. Like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Also, we've got the Discord on-air call-in line rooms, and we're going to get back to Gene because he fixed his microphone issue. Somehow it had switched to push-to-talk, which doesn't always, it's not clear if it's push-to-talk. You don't know what to push, all that. So, yeah, you don't want to have push-to-talk mode on if you can avoid that. Anyway, it's Ian here with you.
Jackie.
And Darryl.
Also, I want to make sure you know about the upcoming Texas Bitcoin Conference. It is right around the corner at this point. We are less than 2 weeks from October 27th and 28th in Austin, Texas. It's the 4th ever Texas Bitcoin Conference, and Free Talk Live will be broadcasting from the conference as we have done every single year it's happened. So it's going to be great to be back and seeing some great speakers, including Paul Pui from the company known as Airbits. Formerly, it's now Edge Wallet. Always fun to have Paul on the air. He's a great guest. Bruce Fenton, who just recently organized his own conference here in New Hampshire.
Yep.
He's going to be flying down to Texas to speak there. Lynn Ulbricht's going to be there. So I haven't seen Lynn probably in a couple of years. It'll be nice to see her, although she almost never has anything good to say about what's happening with her son, Ross, who's in a prison cell for 2 life sentences plus 40 years. It would be great if there was some good news coming out of that prison cell, but unfortunately the best news is that Ross is now tweeting, which is good news, but he's not out of the prison cell, and unfortunately he's not getting out at this point unless Donald Trump gives him either a pardon or clemency.
Right.
And there is a petition to help do that. And we'll tell you about that in a moment. But go to TexasBitcoinConference.com and you can grab your tickets now for October 27th and 28th in Austin. Lots of great networking opportunities, panels, keynotes. It's going to be a great conference. It always is. So head on over to TexasBitcoinConference.com. The full schedule, guest list is up there right now on the website, TexasBitcoinConference.com. And if you do want to help out with Ross Ulbricht in trying to petition for a pardon, then you can go to freeross.org. And I was told last week that there's another part to the video series up, which I have not watched the second part, but I did watch the first part of it. It's called Railroaded, and it is a documentary series all about Ross Ulbricht and the Silk Road and the fall of the Silk Road and all the corruption behind the scenes by the federal government. And
new episodes coming out
about
on
weekly.
Tuesdays.
Yeah. So that means
they actually have the dates.
Yeah.
The next one comes out tomorrow.
Okay, great. Highly recommend this. If even if you are a Ross Ulbricht fan and you've been following the case, you're going to learn stuff if you watch this video. They're gathering information from various different sources, real, legit sources, court documents, police investigative files. And I mean, we followed it close here on Free Talk Live, and I've already, 25 minutes in to what is ultimately going to be a 6-part documentary. I learned some stuff.
Yeah.
So
I will probably wait for all of it to come out and then watch it all at once.
Yeah, don't miss it. freeross.org. It is there. You can check that out. All right, so we're going to continue with your calls and thoughts here. Let's go to Gene, the Christian anarchist, going to give him a second shot. Gene, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hi, guys.
Hey
and
there.
yes, that includes Jackie as well, because it's a neuter gender term. Just wanted to talk about the latest, well, it's not the latest, but it's another way that the government is snooping on us. And, I've told you in the past that I like to fly and have fun when I do it. But as of 2020, something is coming around in the aviation community that's they've been pushing this for over 4 years now, and it's called ADS-B. Now, ADS-B means Automatic Dependent Surveillance Broadcast. So what it is, up until now, if I flew my airplane around and I'm in an area close to a major airport, I have to have something in my airplane called a transponder.
Okay.
The transponder is very old technology. It goes back like 30, 40 years. And all it is basically whenever the radar hits you, because they have at those large airports, they have their big radar antenna spinning around, and it's checking for all traffic in the area. Okay, so when that hits you, your aircraft then sends a ping back, which identifies you according to a number that you type into this device. Now, normally, people like me that are just flying around VFR, we put in 1200. So 1200 means I'm a VFR airplane. I'm not flying IFR.
VFR, IFR?
VFR is visual, IFR is instrument.
Instrument, correct. So flying around, all I would ever have to do is put 1200. I can go fly around wherever I want to, pretty much, as long as I stay away from the big airplanes, big airports in the what they call Class B and Class C airspace. But that's getting too technical.
You can't fly over military bases, can you?
You generally can, not where you have a controlled surface. There are military operation areas that you can fly over, but usually you have to be you don't have to tell them you're going to be there in some of those areas unless they're restricted, but you do have to be aware that there's high-speed traffic and training and helicopters and stuff.
So you can't go to Area 51.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
Cannot go to Area 51. That's a restricted area.
Got it.
That also doesn't exist.
Right. What were we talking about? So anyway, go ahead.
So the new surveillance system that's coming out in 2020 is called ADS-B. Now, ADS-B is going to be an active system, whereas this was currently just a passive system that responds to a radar ping.
Mm-hmm.
So ADS-B is going to be active, where your aircraft has to be equipped with instrumentation that tells your GPS position to the air traffic control at all times. Now, this is required everywhere that currently requires a transponder. So there's only going to be a small portion of airspace left in the country after 2020 that you can fly and not have this ADS-B. ADS-B identifies your aircraft, it identifies your altitude, it identifies your position.
Well, that sounds really invasive.
It's a snooping system that will guarantee that wherever you are, they will know what you're doing.
And if you don't have this system installed and they detect you in the air through the old system, do they then scramble jets to take you down? What happens?
You will get violated, and that means that when you land at an airport or whatever, they'll probably come out and you can probably get away with it a few times.
Mm-hmm.
But they will eventually catch up to you. They will violate you.
Damn.
They'll take away your pilot's license. There are people out there flying without pilot's license right now because unlike highway pirates, there are no air pirates flying around with little blue lights on their airplanes to pull you over.
So was this one of those things that the bureaucrats just kind of came up with, or did Congress have to actually pass a law to authorize this?
FAA did it, and I don't know whether there was actual law, but I'm sure there was some kind of a bill passed. But the whole idea they're saying is for safety, air safety. Well, it could be for air safety, but it isn't really required because aviation safety is already one of the highest that you can achieve. I mean, our air safety is a very, very good record. So what they're doing,
I would imagine the commercial airlines are already on board with this, right? Like they want to know where their planes are at all times, and that way, they get lost or crash.
All commercial aviation currently is on ADS-B.
Yeah,
and a good portion of private aviation is already on it. But the thing is, what we're afraid of, or what I'm afraid of, is anytime you make a slight violation of the rules, they're going to know about it, and they're going to come after you. And eventually, I think you're going to see a lot of pilots that are going to be losing their pilot licenses because they violated the rules too many times. And it's just another way for Big Brother to keep an eye on you. Up until now, being able to fly your airplane around the country was a pretty freedom.
What if your plane is registered in another country where ADS-B isn't required? Is that a way around it?
If you fly in that controlled airspace, you will be required to have ADS-B.
Damn, dude. Sorry to hear about that. Thank you for, I guess they got you right where they want you. Thanks for the call, Gene, the Christian anarchist. One of our chatters there in the Discord chat. You can join him and others over at discord.lrn.fm or jump in one of the Discord on-air call-in line rooms, just like he did, and join us on the radio and sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us, where you can take control of the airwaves and bring up whatever's on your mind. This is Free Talk Live. We got the controlling relationship rules still to go here on Free Talk Live. We'll come back to that.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful, full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH, with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com. That's wallet.bitcoin.com.
The Liberty Dollar was so successful that the United States government had to take it down, and its founder, Bernard von Nothaus. Now Bernard's son Extra has launched Liberty Dollar 2. LD2 is a cryptocurrency, but each token is backed by the same gorgeous fine silver rounds that Liberty Dollar has always been known for. Your silver is secured in an audited vault and can be redeemed at any time. There's only a few thousand LD2 Zero tokens left in the crowd sale at ld2coin.io. Get yours. ld2coin.io.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
This is Fred.
Hi, I'm Fred.
Fred's a repeater.
I tend to repeat.
Fred has a business.
I do have a business.
And a problem. Fred repeats the same tired advertising over and over, and now it doesn't work.
Over and over.
But Fred is about to see a vision.
I'm seeing a vision.
Advertising on the Genesis Communications Network is the smart way for Fred to reach his potential customers with the most affordable national advertising rates, period. Get started today with GCN, the Genesis Communications Network. Just email advertise@gcnlive.com.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live, join us here. Dial in toll free, bring up whatever you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. And you can take control of the airwaves here on Free Talk Live. That is the point of this program. Joining you in our studio tonight, though, it's Ian,
Jackie,
and Darryl.
Jackie, who just showed up in the Twitch chat, by the way. which you can join over at twitch.lrn.fm. I forgot to mention that earlier when we were talking about Twitch. I probably should have given the actual URL, where you can go and watch the show. And apparently we've got a few dozen viewers here tonight on Twitch, which is nice. Nice to have folks there. And, of course, we appreciate anybody that follows the show, especially those that actually subscribe to the channel on Twitch. You can do that if you've got a Twitch Prime, an Amazon Prime. They call it Twitch Prime on Twitch. But if you have Amazon Prime, you get one free Twitch subscription per month that you can then allocate to the channel that you prefer. Hopefully that's us. If so, all you got to do is link your Amazon account to your Twitch account, and there's a very simple process to do that. So if you're watching us on Twitch at twitch.lrn.fm, just scroll down a little past the screen where it shows you the video window. Scroll down, you'll find the instructions on how to link up your accounts and give us that Twitch subscription that you may not have ever used. Like if you've been an Amazon Prime subscriber, but you've never really been on Twitch before, this is a perk you didn't know you had. And so if you assign it to the LRN channel, then you don't have to pay for that subscription, and LRN and the shows get a little bit of money comes into LRN for that. And that helps, if we need to buy some new equipment here for the studio or whatever, that can help with that. So,
and that is something that you need to renew every month.
Manually. Yeah, you have to. It doesn't automatically, unfortunately. I wish it would do it. If it were automatic, then we'd probably have more than 40, because I know we hit 40 at one point, but people drop off if they're not watching regularly. But I understand why they do it, right? Because they want to make sure you're actually watching the channel. If you don't actually watch the channel, then you're going to forget about it unless we remind you, like we're doing now. So head on over to twitch.lrn.fm. And again, if you're already a Prime subscriber on Amazon, you can link up and hook us up with that subscription. We sure do appreciate it. Or if all you can do is follow us, you can afford that, then we appreciate you following us on the Twitch platform, because that allows you to get notices when we go live. So if you want to get an email notice, or if you've got the Twitch app on your smartphone, it'll ping you right there through the app with a notice letting you know that we are here and we're talking, and we got open phones where you can join us and talk on the radio. So thank you guys for that over on the Twitch channel. And as I said, it does have its own chat, which actually has some chatters tonight, which is unusual. So that's cool. All right, we continue here. You can bring up what you want. We did have somebody in the Discord lines. I do want to say, when you call us on Discord, you do need to have your microphone unmuted. And if you're new to Discord, I don't know if it's like the default, because I see it happen a lot. I see it happen where people will join those channels and their mics are muted. So we can't put you on if your mic's muted. So make sure you got your settings straight. Usually we check with you in advance, so we'll do our best to do that. At the beginning of the show, we started an article from, it's actually appeared in a lot of places, the Daily Mirror, Fox News, Bored Panda. Apparently Bored Panda was the original sharer, after a guy on Twitter had originally shared a document that he claims to have discovered in the car that he bought at a car dealer, so a used car that he'd purchased. And it is a purported relationship agreement. And we have the 22 rules that apply in this particular person's relationship. We went through the first 6. I'll just go through real fast here. You're not to have a single girl's phone number. You're not to follow them on any social media. You're not to hang out with Keegan, whoever that is. You're not to go to Honda without me. You're not to hang out with your friends more than 2 times a week. And we left off on number 6, that you are not, and the nots are in all caps.
And some are underlined, apparently?
In the original document. Yeah, I'm looking at a text version where there's no underlining. You are not to look at a single girl. Now,
that was already on the list.
No, it was you are not to have a single girl's phone number. That was rule number 1. This is rule number 6. So I mentioned it earlier.
You had already. Yeah. That's why
this is the one we left off on. I was saying we left off on this because we weren't. I don't think we were done. At least I wasn't done talking about this. Because earlier we weren't sure when it said you're not to have a single girl's phone number. It's not clear as to whether or not that is the phone number of a single girl, meaning a girl who does not have a relationship at the time,
correct,
or you are not to have a phone number of any single girl, meaning like no women whatsoever. You should not have their phone number, including your mother or grandmother or whatever. And I feel like number 6, you are not to look at a single girl. You wouldn't know whether or not a girl is single by simply looking at her. So therefore, this must mean you cannot look at any other women. Right. That's what this rule is.
I don't think there was necessarily a lot of logic and coherence involved in making this list.
You don't think she checked it twice before after she hammered it out?
doesn't read like somebody who really thought through the, how it would parse and the implications.
Right, because, as I mentioned or asked when you read this earlier, because I knew it sounded familiar, what happens when you go to Applebee's and the person taking your order is female? You're not allowed to look at the waitress. You can't.
You gotta go on with blinders.
Apparently, you can't drive because there might be a woman walking down the sidewalk.
Right. Well, you're just not supposed to look at her, Darryl. So you just cannot move your eyes in the direction of the woman. You can peripherally vision, you can see it, because that's not the same as looking at a thing, right? Like I'm looking at you right now. Jackie's in the room. I know in my peripheral vision where she is, but I'm
Watch
now
out
looking
for pedestrians.
At Jackie. Right.
So, if they're female pedestrians, then just close your eyes and, and hope they move out of the way of the car.
Yeah, but, this rule isn't unfamiliar, I think, to a lot of guys out there.
Right.
The rule where the girl gets jealous. And to me, this is a deal breaker. If any girl tries to tell me in a relationship that I'm not allowed to look at another girl, she's not the right girl for me.
Right.
Because one of the things I've always enjoyed with my girlfriends in the past is enjoying looking at other women. Like, it's kind of a fun thing to do because usually your girlfriend can also appreciate, another good-looking woman. So the idea that, you should somehow be prohibited from looking is like the most controlling, obsessive kind of
But you should
rule.
only have eyes for me, Ian.
Well, Darryl, I mean, you're an attractive man, but... Anyway, let's go on. Number 7. If girls come up to you at any place or any time, you are to walk away. Walk in all caps.
Surprised she didn't say run.
I mean, does this person not have a job with female coworkers?
Well, we
How
don't
does
know.
that work?
We don't know anything about this this person. But yes, that would make it would make it very difficult to have female coworkers there, or being approached by
or being the barista at Starbucks. Sorry, girl in the yoga pants, I can't look at you, talk at you, or take your order.
Just go hide in a corner. Number 8, Mo is not hang out with us every time we hang out. And I'm not clear if Mo is a male or female. Number 9, you are not to ask for H-D. Now, I wonder if Fox censored that. Let's see here. I'm going to pull up the daily.
It looks like it's an H, 2 letters, and a D. So
I'm pretty sure it's head.
We could probably guess.
Yes.
Yeah. But I just wanted to see here if it's actually hyphenated in the original. I pulled up the original scanned list here. You are not. No, it is not censored in the original. Okay, so you're not to ask her for that. I presume she means you're not to ask her for that because you already can't approach any other woman.
Right, you already can't talk to any woman to say, I would like a large frappy mocha latte chino.
So I guess you're just supposed to hope that she feels like, dishing that out if you've been good and followed all the rules. Number 10, you are not to get mad at me about a single thing ever again.
Okay, so you wait until they compound, and then you get mad at her about a bunch of things.
Yeah, multiple things. Yeah, you can't get mad about single things, but you can get mad about a list.
You are not to bring up Tyler, Noah, Devin, or Josh ever again. These sound like friends of his that he's been banned from hanging out with.
Which she previously says, you don't get to hang out with your friends. You don't get to hang out with this particular friend.
It was the rule was number 5. You're not to hang out with your friends more than 2 times a week. But this group of friends shan't be brought up.
And then there's another person that specifically mentioned Keegan. There's somebody named Mo.
Right. Can't hang out with Keegan at all.
Yeah.
Anywhere. Number 12. You are not allowed to drink unless I am with you. Number 13.
I'm guessing she means alcohol because otherwise he would
water
dehydrate.
To survive. Yeah, I think she means alcohol on that one. And maybe he's an alcoholic. Maybe this is written out of concern for his well-being. That could be a possibility.
But there might be women at the AA meetings. And alcoholics go to meetings.
Right. And she could be worried that if he's drinking, he will be more likely to violate the other rules by approaching and or talking to women.
Right.
Number 13. I am allowed to do a phone check whenever I please.
So, go through his phone and look at his messages? Is that what a phone check is?
Could be, or it could be a phone call at any time, but I think you're probably more likely.
Generally, I'm going to check your messages. I'm going to look at all your pics.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
The downloaded folder. Why do you have a picture of this girl?
I mean, there are people like
now
this
I know
out
why
there.
he's an alcoholic and wants to drink.
More coming up here. We've got a few more of these rules to go through. You can weigh in if you've had an experience like this in your relationship.
If you owe any money to the IRS, you need to call this toll-free number right now. 800-511-2084. That's 800-511-2084. Uncle Sam has the power to make your life miserable. You could stop the collection process right now by calling 800-511-2084. That's 800-511-2084. When you call the tax support group, you'll get free information on how you can reduce your back taxes, including penalties and interest. You could also be helped if you have unfiled returns, a tax lien, wage garnishment, bank levy, or if you have entered into a payment plan and can't make the payments. Stop Uncle Sam right now. Make the free call that could help you end the worry today. 800-511-2084. That's 800-511-2084. 800-511-2084. 800-511-2084.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you're helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, October 15th, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.75 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,232 per ounce. Zen is trading at $14, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,566. Antiwar.com reports dozens of Afghan police and soldiers were killed Saturday night into Sunday morning in the Farah and Zabul provinces in a series of Taliban attacks, mostly targeting Afghan military checkpoints. Exact death tolls are unclear, with Afghan officials reporting 20 killed and the Taliban reporting 25 killed in Farah, along with the district police chief slain in Mizan. Officials also report at least 11 soldiers were captured. The Taliban have been stepping up attacks in recent weeks, hitting checkpoints in remote parts of Afghanistan. In such areas, the security forces almost never have enough fighters to hold them off without reinforcements, and coordinated attacks means Afghan officials have to decide which places get reinforcements. In the lead up to parliamentary elections, such attacks are underscoring how much worse security across Afghanistan is getting, and that the Afghan government's abilities to provide any security at all is very limited. Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need Spendabit, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spendabit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spendabit.co. UPI reports Sears Holding has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy and will close nearly 150 stores by the end of the year, according to the iconic retailer on Monday. Sears said 142 stores would close in the next 3 months. That's in addition to the 46 stores earlier targeted for closure. The longtime American shopping mall anchor is trying to stave off a complete shutdown of not only Sears department stores, but also Kmart stores that it owns. As of August, the 132-year-old company had 506 locations, including 480 82 full-line department stores, as well as 360 Kmart stores. Sears had a $134 million debt payment due Monday that it could not afford, prompting the bankruptcy filing. The company will remain in business during the proceedings. Eddie Lampert resigned as CEO, but the company says he will remain as chair. He made several debt deals that kept the company afloat, but did not appear to have a strategy to turn the company around. He's also one of the company's largest investors, so he'll be a debtor and creditor during the bankruptcy proceedings. Lampert said in a statement, "While we have made progress, the plan has yet to deliver the results we have desired." Lampert is using his hedge fund to purchase the Kenmore brand from Sears. The Craftsman brand of lawn equipment and tools has already been sold.
Zencash is now Horizon. Horizon is a privacy platform built on zero-knowledge technology with a decentralized secure node architecture. The Horizon platform enables real-life uses beyond currency, including the ability to privately chat with other people. Soon, Horizon will enable you to publish information and go anywhere on the web, all with complete privacy. Horizon, bringing privacy to life. Learn more at horizon.global. HORIZEN.global.
Reuters reports President Donald Trump said over the weekend that separating migrant families at the border could deter undocumented immigration and that he was considering several options to tighten border security. In June, Trump abandoned his policy of separating immigrant children from their parents at the U.S.-Mexico border after images of youngsters in cages sparked outrage at home and abroad. But some Trump administration officials have said the policy, under which 2,600 children were separated from their parents, was needed to secure the border and deter undocumented immigration. Trump seemed to support that argument over the weekend, telling reporters at the White House if they feel there will be separation, they don't come. Trump also claimed, without providing evidence, that immigrants were grabbing children and they're using children to come into our country in many cases. He stopped short, however, of committing to a new round of family separations. Again, calling for Congress to pass immigration legislation, Trump said, "We're looking at a lot of different things having to do with illegal immigration. We're going to do whatever we can to get it slowed down." A government audit released earlier this month said the Trump administration's zero-tolerance immigration crackdown at the U.S.-Mexico border earlier this year was plagued by a lack of preparation, resource shortfalls, and communication failures. The audit found that hundreds of migrant children were detained for longer than the 3-day limit allowed at U.S. Border Patrol facilities, including one who was held for at least 25 days. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
In Baltimore, the streets have gotten safer thanks to the success of the new Permanent Daylight Initiative, which aims to prevent crime by illuminating the entire city 24 hours a day using high-powered floodlights.
It's just that it's so bright all the time, even in the rain.
City officials say there have been zero violent crime since the start of the program, except for one man who vandalized the light by throwing his body off a building into it. Now let's set our crosshairs on to Mountain View, California, where Gmail servers were down for nearly 2 hours today. In an online statement, the company said, "Tremble before Google. With the mere flip of a switch, we can bring you to your knees." After reestablishing service this afternoon, Google changed its logo and released a statement saying, if not appeased with a 20% increase in Google Chrome downloads by the next vernal equinox, they will take back their generous gift unto mankind of colored conversation labeling. All right, you can take off your helmet. You have survived the News Blitz.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live. We're sharing with you a ostensible list, which I think is real. I believe, I buy this list of rules for a boyfriend, which, by the way, could have been written by a man. I mean, it's just, I'm not saying that only women are likely to be this controlling. We've actually seen a real-life example of a male with a relationship contract within the Libertarian Party that he had a girlfriend sign that also had restrictions. I don't remember what they were, but there were some restrictive details in there. Pieces? What's a good terms? I guess terms is a good word.
Terms and conditions.
Yeah. So we're going to get back into this list of 20-something rules of things you are not allowed to do if you are in a relationship with this girl. Now, we don't know who she is, but she could very well be somebody you know. In fact, she sounds a lot like my first girlfriend. Anyway, with you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
Jackie.
And Darryl.
By the way, check out liberty.menu. If you're a liberty-minded person, you care about freedom, and you want other people to find your business, the thing that you do, if you want other libertarians to find your business, whether it's in real life or a online business, go to liberty.menu and add your listings there. It's free to do, so why not? Go to liberty.menu, use code FTL. You can get yourself a special Free Talk Live listener badge. We can't really give you a discount because it's free. So head on over to liberty.menu, although there are some things you can pay for upgrades on, which you might want to check out. Liberty.menu. It's a great site. Highly recommend it. I use it. Darryl, you use it.
Yes.
Use it a lot, actually.
A lot.
More so than I do. But I think I'm still in the top 20 users there. Liberty.menu. Get on over there. As we continue here with the list, if you want to weigh in, if you've had a relationship, you can relate to this. Maybe you were this girl, or you still are, and you want to defend these rules, we'd love to hear from you. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE.
So far, I only agree with number 8.
I've now have the non-numbered list in front of me.
Okay, that's the one. Mo is not to hang out with us every time we hang out.
What do you got against Mo?
I don't know, but he just sounds like a jerk.
How do you know it's a he?
Could be a girl. It's just you want to have some alone time.
M.O., I think, is a female Mo. I feel like M.O. is more likely to be a female Mo instead of M.O.E., which is more like, the Three Stooges.
But I do agree that, sometimes you just want alone time.
Indeed.
I also don't have faith in the list writer's spelling abilities, so it could be either.
So let's go on. Here is more from this list of things you are not allowed to do, including, she says here, so here's a rule that she's allowed to do. Okay, so far it's been you're not to do this, that, or the other thing, like hang out with women, hang out with your friends more than twice a week, drink without having me around. Here's one. I'm allowed to do a phone check whenever I please. And we were talking about that a moment ago where this is a very invasive thing. Now, if you're in a relationship with somebody, to some extent, there's a value to being able to share everything with that person. But there's also some value to the partner respecting your privacy, right? So it's kind of a tough line to draw for some people.
And then there's also the whole thing of trust.
Right. Where you trust your partner, which means that you let them have their privacy, but at the same time, I can understand the desire for somebody to want total openness as well. I can understand that.
If you feel that you need to be able to do random checks of your partner's phone, there's something fundamentally wrong with the relationship.
You don't trust your partner.
Yeah, it's that you're already gone beyond the breaking point there, where you're now having to do like random checks on their devices.
You're a prison guard at that point.
Yeah, and it's like I could understand if it's like a married couple and they have children and they're trying to make it work because they have kids together and there's like a history of infidelity and they're going to counseling and rebuilding trust. But in any other normal relationship, if you're demanding to like randomly check up on your partner like that, you should go get therapy, or there's some history there that means that this is not a working relationship.
There's a few more rules here. If we move in, she says, I think she means in together, there are to never, ever be girls at our house. Now, I'm looking at the purported original of this document. I had started with the Fox News version. This is the Daily Mirror, and they actually have a photograph of what is purported the original document that was found in a car at a used car dealership when the person bought the car. And so I can now see all the underlined words, and apparently there's addendums, if you will, sort of written to the sides of some of these. So this one says no next to it. And like earlier on when there's the rule about not asking for head, that one says naughty written next to it. Anyway, going on here.
Now, we don't know if the addendums were added by one of the parties or by the person that found this in the car.
Purportedly, I'm going to guess that it was the girl because it's done in pink pen in a lot of cases, or purple pen.
All right.
There's like different colors, so it's a very girly kind of thing to use different colors, right? To use any kind of pink color would be a girly indicator.
Right.
But to use multiple colors, the way the writing is, it looks girly.
All right.
Anyway, going on here. If we move in together, your friends will rarely be allowed over, with rarely capitalized and underlined. So she really does not want this guy to spend much time at all with his friends. There was provisions earlier about specific friends he's not ever to talk to at all.
Yep.
There was provisions earlier about you cannot hang out with the friends you're allowed to hang out with more than twice a week. And just in general, if we move in together, she says your friends will rarely be allowed over. She says further, another point here, if I catch you around girls, I kill you. And that's underlined with a smiley face next to it. And then lay over.
Oh, see, she's joking because there's a smiley face. I'm not actually going to kill you.
No,
Ha 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 ha. Yes, I am.
I'm just going to make you long for death.
And then written next to that and underlined, it says, sorry, Buster. Going on. It says here, you are not to ditch me for your friends. Another one. Austin does not control when I hang out with you. That's in all caps there. Never, she adds in handwriting next to it. So I presume, again, that's another friend of his, Austin.
Or maybe they lived in Austin and she thought that, like the city council was going to pass a zoning ordinance or something.
Going on, we are to go on a legit date, underlined, once every 2 weeks at least.
All right.
Now that's, some couples feel like they need to keep the flame alive, so to speak, go out on a date. But if it's obligated, then it's not really the same, right? Like if you're doing it out of obligation versus, oh, I'd like to invite my girlfriend out to something because it's special or it's an occasion of some sort. No, instead it's just at least every 2 weeks we have to do this at a minimum.
Yeah.
It kind of takes the fun out of it. It kind of takes it creates expectations that are... This is not a good relationship, ladies and gentlemen.
Right, and now I know why the guy drinks or wants to drink, and she's saying that he can't.
3 more.
Yeah. I think Darryl and I are actually going on our first real date tomorrow.
Yeah,
where are you going?
We kind of did things backwards. Like I shacked up with him before he took me out to dinner. So,
I've had that happen in my life too. Where y'all going? Can I ask?
So I just told Tuesday nights I have running club.
Right.
I was like, here's the rough time of when the run ends.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to meet me down there? And
at the running club.
Yeah, it's at a local restaurant.
I see.
That is affiliated with the club.
Is it a date when you go out to a running
it's a
club
group thing?
Yeah, I don't know if that's a date.
After the run, we'll have supper.
Yes.
With the running club.
Some of them might be there.
I think it has to be, unless it's a double date, Darryl, it has to be an alone thing.
Yeah.
Right? So
we can get our own booth.
Okay. Then that's fair.
I can meet your friends. But we still haven't had a real date. We just sort of skipped.
It'll happen.
That.
Okay. Now, here's another one for you. 3 more rules remaining here on this list. If I say jump, you say, quote, how high, princess, unquote.
I don't think so.
That's another clue, guys. If she calls herself a princess, that's a sign you might want to keep away from her.
Well, I mean, maybe it's like they're kink, they're into role playing, who knows?
Do you know anybody like that? I mean, I'm sure there's somebody that's like that out there, but most of the time it's like, I'm a princess. I need to be treated like a princess.
Oh, there's whole websites for people who are into that.
Yeah.
Next one here. You are to make sure that you tell me you love me once a day, once is circled. At least, so I know you're not messing around. And we'll give you the final one here.
I love you, Ian.
The final...
That's the one time today.
Yeah. The final
do it again
rule
tomorrow.
Coming up here in moments. 855 450 free. Because there's nothing like an obligated I love you, right?
Yeah.
More on the way. This is Free Talk Live.
She's such a beautiful little puppy. I mean, we walk around the block and neighbors always say, her hair is so beautiful.
Healthy and shiny and glossy. DINOVITE.com.
Fatty acids, omega-3s, and omega-6s are great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
I would really recommend people starting their puppies on Dinovite before they get into what I would call the misery index. Bad skin, bad ears, bad breath.
Because if they're getting all their vitamins, micronutrients, microbials from the beginning, then you're not going to run into the problems associated with the allergies,
grass, pollen, dust, dirt, fleas, ticks, you name it,
and the itching and shedding down the road.
Our vitamins and enzymes replace the nutrients cooked out of most commercial dog foods.
Dinovite for life.
This is Ed Lukasevic.
And Cindy Lukasevic.
Inviting you and your pets to Dinovite.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
Your property and your family are precious. Protect them with Blink. Blink motion-activated HD cameras are wire-free, set up fast, and their batteries last up to 2 years. And Blink's live feed option lets you monitor what's happening in your home anytime, anywhere. No contracts, no subscriptions, and Blink works with Alexa. You can get 3 Blink cameras for way less than the other guys, plus an extra 15% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. Blink is an Amazon company.
Bitcoin.com wants you to know about SaveItPurse.com. Since launching in 2014, over 200,000 users have saved an average of 15% for a combined $4 million using Bitcoin, or BTC. And now you can use Bitcoin Cash, BCH, to fund your account. You can save between 5 to 33% on things you're going to buy anyway when you shop using SaveItPurse.com. Add items to your cart, fund your account, select your discount, and save. SaveItPurse.com. Save ATPurse.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live. You're invited to join us right here. The toll-free number for you is 855-450-FREE. Like freedom, that's 855-450-3733. Also, we've got our Discord on-air call-in line rooms available to you. Have you ever been in one of these super controlling relationships? And again, it's not necessarily just the woman who's going to create a list of ridiculous, outrageous rules like this. But in this case, that's what has happened. And some of these rules will probably ring a bell or have been ringing bells for people who've been in relationships with very controlling, insecure people who feel like they can just force their way into a good relationship. And I'm sorry, I just don't think that these rules are made for a happy relationship. And that this relationship is likely not going to get better once the rules are imposed. It's just a matter of how many days will it last? How many more weeks will it continue?
Well, is rule number 22, you can't break up with me because of all of these stupid rules?
No, that one's not in here, but the final rule, and by the way, I will post these on our social media, so Twitter and Mastodon, but not Facebook because I'm not on Facebook anymore, and Mark didn't want us posting on there or something like that.
He didn't want show prep posted on there because reasons.
Yeah, whatever. So yeah, if you follow us on toot.freetalklive.com, that's our Mastodon feed, twitter.freetalklive.com will take you to our Twitter page, and then also, let's see, we've got a Telegram channel as well. You can just follow the post directly from our Telegram at telegram.freetalklive.com. So one of those three methods will get you our show prep when we share it with you. And so the final item here on the list of rules for being in a relationship with this princess is you are to never take longer than 10 minutes to text me back.
That's crazy.
So if you're asleep and, she's not there, maybe she's on, some work trip or something like that, and you've gone to bed, well, you better have that alarm real loud on your notification real loud on your phone so you can get back to her.
I don't even have notifications on my phone, period. Like, it goes off for tornadoes and your Uber is here. And
but you could be having
off.
sex with somebody else if you don't text back every 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Or you could be shopping at Aldi and
checking out or whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go. If you want to see the full list, we'll post them on our social media. And again, if you want to weigh in here, maybe you can relate to this. You've been in a terrible relationship like this. I can relate to this. I never actually had any kind of list of rules like this. Even my most controlling relationship was nowhere near this bad. It might have had like 2 or 3 or something like that out of the 22 rules. It was the first one that I've had. And of course, the thing about relationships is, the more you have, the more you learn what you don't want. Right? Like when you get together with somebody and it doesn't work out for whatever reason, well, usually that's a learning experience. And then you can take what you learned about what you can handle and what you can't, because ultimately everybody's crazy, right? Like, people say bitches be crazy or whatever. Well, I'm pretty sure the guys are crazy too.
Yeah.
Just that I don't sleep with them, so I don't know, how crazy the guys are. I bet if I started sleeping
You've
with guys.
had gay roommates, though.
That's true, but I didn't sleep with them.
Right, but you witnessed how crazy they were.
No, I don't think I would have known half of how crazy they were, because unless you're actually in the relationship, you don't really get to witness the crazy.
Oh, you don't see the full crazy, but you get to see part of the crazy.
I didn't really know what they were doing because they generally weren't with whoever their relationship was while they were living with me, because kind of we're in their own room, and like every now and then they might bring somebody in there, but I didn't know what was going on. It was none of my business. So, you don't really get to understand a crazy relationship until you've been in one. I mean, you can see it from the outside, especially if it's starting to boil over into the person's life. Like, she's saying here you can't hang out with your friends except for a couple times a week maximum.
Right.
They're not allowed to hang out over at our house, and all these rules. So if she all of a sudden shows up at the bar and starts, shrieking because you're hanging out with your friends, well then, this person's in a crazy relationship beyond if they're just complaining about it.
Right.
But normally all you end up hearing is one side, which is to say one side complaining about the other side.
You have to find somebody who's crazy in a way that's compatible with your crazy.
Exactly.
Yes.
That is the key. Somebody that you can love and, appreciate their special brand of crazy.
Yes,
right?
or because you both have it.
Or you can just tolerate it, right? Like that it's still... But we actually had a guy in the chat room saying that he would put up with worse than this. Like, we just went through some of the most restrictive, controlling rules that you could possibly imagine. And there's somebody in the chat room who basically said, if I were attracted to the girl enough, I'd put up with even more than this. And it's like, really?
I get to tell you exactly what to wear. I get to tell you exactly what to eat, when to eat, where to eat, how to eat.
Okay, some people, as I said, there's whole websites dedicated to this. Some people, that's their thing.
Like submission, like total submission?
Yeah, like, 24/7 total power exchange relationships. Like,
wow. Hey, whatever floats your boat, But to me, like, no, thank you. I like having a relationship where you come in as equals and one person isn't trying to put a bunch of rules and controls over the other person. There's some sort of crazy power imbalance here, because this girl's got some issues, right? She's got some serious insecurity issues. Now, maybe some bad things have happened to her in the past. Maybe somebody's cheated on her, or more than one person has cheated on her, and that sucks.
She needs therapy, I'm
wondering if this is just page 1 of a multi-page document, and the rest of the pages somehow got lost.
Okay, I'm going to say it's not, because what I'm looking at here on the picture of the document, there's a fold at the very bottom. So like this takes up the whole page, basically, the 20-something rules. At the very bottom, maybe about an inch or maybe an inch and a half is folded up, and you can't actually see. I think they did it to obscure the person's signatures, because you can see a little swirl of what appears to be a signature popping out from that.
Okay.
So I believe this was a one-page document with a signature, maybe more than one signature down at the bottom from the parties involved. So again, toll-free number if you want to join us here, 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. And don't forget, if you're on our Discord on-air call-in line rooms, you do need to have your microphone unmuted if you want to get on the air with us. Now, we do have Turd Ferguson. He has unmuted his mic, so I'm going to presume he's there. Turd Ferguson, are you with us?
Yes, Ian, can you hear me? How's my audio?
We got you loud and clear. Go ahead.
Yeah, so just a couple things real quick. I'm not digging the list as far as the commands from it appears to be a young lady, but I got to say, it sounds an awfully lot like the Adam Kokesh incident. Now, I didn't hear all of it, but there was an incident in 2016 where I guess Macy Tomlin went live on her Facebook and denounced Adam Kokesh publicly for making it something similar to what I'm hearing right now.
Yeah, we actually opened the show. I didn't mention his name, but we actually
been thinly veiled references to that all night.
When we first opened up the show, we did mention that this isn't necessarily just a woman's thing. There can absolutely be men who come up with very controlling things. If you had more to say, Turd, you can hang on. We'll continue with you here in just a moment. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Insecure people lashing out at their partner. It's Free Talk Live.
Ever wonder how Bitcoin and Ethereum were created? Vercel Media has helped hundreds of companies and individuals make their own cryptocurrency. Decentralized blockchain solutions are making the world more transparent and giving power back to the people. Vercel Media has helped companies raise tens of millions in the past year alone, structuring and marketing ICOs to the thirsty crypto public worldwide. Don't miss the cryptocurrency revolution. Visit vercelmedia.com, VERCEL media.com.
Hear that? That's the sound of a house being trashed while a gang of thieves ransack the place. And what they don't steal will be destroyed.
This year, resolve not to be the next victim of a break-in. Go to faketv.com and discover a device that creates the illusion someone inside is watching TV, even when you're miles away. Security is a mindset, and Fake TV should be part of your security solution. Be vigilant, but not fearful. faketv.com.
If you're looking for work, you know what I mean by elevator speech. It's the short version, saying just enough to make the listener want to listen more. Even if you're not a job seeker, effective communication skills have never been more important, with money and attention so scarce now. So to cut through the clutter, choose every single word as though it was the last word the person you're speaking to will hear. Otherwise, it might be. Instead of saying, due to the fact that, say, because. And avoid mispronunciations. Say jewelry, not jewelry, which could offend. Undoubtedly, you don't want to say undoubtedly. And whatever you do, never use a preposition to end a sentence with. Just kidding. For more tips, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Free Talk Live, the show where anyone can call about whatever they want. And we do mean anyone.
World fast for peace.
I don't understand what she said.
If the whole world fasted like Gandhi, we would see great results for this struggle to survive world order.
There's never going to be any peace. You sound like you're on drugs, dear. It sounds like you're a flower child. You're pumped up on drugs.
Any woman who doesn't agree with you is on drugs or something.
I may be a racist and anti-Semite, but I have all my faculties.
Well, racism and sexism are one.
You're one of those love mankind, love thy neighbor.
And I am too, and thank you both for the call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you. That is the one thing I can certainly agree with the lady on. Normally I can't understand a word that she says, but I think Scott, the bigot, did interpret her correctly, and that she is interested in peace, and I like that.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
Hey, it's Free Talk Live. Got plenty of time for you if you want to jump on the lines here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Vaginitarian is in our chat room right now. She's shocked that the former girlfriend of Adam Kokesh would sign a similar relationship agreement. We are talking about ridiculous, restrictive relationship rules being imposed upon people. I didn't mention his name at the beginning of the show because I didn't think it was relevant, but somebody just called in about it. And you can call in about anything you want here on Free Talk Live. It is open phones. And, of course, you can take control of the airwaves. Joining you in the studio, it's Ian,
Jackie,
and Darryl.
Don't forget about the Blink home security system. Trying to check up on your partner? You can install the Blink home security system because any old time you want to, you can actually activate the system. And you can watch what's going on. Now, of course, the intention is to actually protect your family and protect your property with these motion-activated HD cameras that are wireless. So it's super easy to set this up. You unbox it, you pop the batteries in, and those are, by the way, good to last 2 years. Put the batteries in and put the cameras up wherever it is you want them. And then you'll get notices on your smartphone whenever it is something happens in front of the camera during the time frames you specify. So you get to set it up. It's all done wirelessly. It's super easy to do. And it's also really affordable, which is amazing. You can get 3 Blink cameras. Their normal price is actually really good, but you'll save an extra 15% by going to blinkprotect.com/FTL. That's blinkprotect.com/FTL, like Free Talk Live. And once you get these cameras installed, there's no contracts. There's no subscription service. You pay for the cameras, install them, and you're done. The service just runs at that point. Blink is an Amazon company, and Blink does work with Alexa. So check them out, blinkprotect.com/FTL. We're back with Turd Ferguson. He's on the line with us on our Discord on-air call-in line. Go ahead, Turd Ferguson.
Yeah, well, I was just talking about Adam Kokesh and his emotionally abusive relationship with Macy Tomlin, and this seems similar in some ways. Although I got to say, I think, and I hope I'm not clipping right now. Hold on, let me.
You're fine. You're fine. I'd let you know if there was a problem.
Oh, I'm sorry. I've got a clip light over here. Yeah, and I was going to say that I think Adam Kokesh's contract though that he wrote was a lot worse than yeah, because I mean I've got it pulled up here on the screen. I can just give you a short rundown of some of the stuff that says. It says benefactress will hereby perform administrative tasks for up to but not limited to 6 hours daily. Tasks that are completed will be checked off a to-do list compiled of both written responsibilities for benefactress and recipient. And it goes on.
Well, it sounds like he had hired her to be an assistant, basically.
Yeah, but more like a sex
Assistant.
slave assistant. Yeah. Here's one that says benefactors will hereby create a positive living environment which extends to cleanliness, enthusiasm, open-mindedness, and initiating sexual acts with recipient.
Now, what is this? Somebody claimed in the chat room that she wrote it. Is that true?
Yeah, but I don't think that. I think Adam Kokesh threatened her into
right. So it was at his behest. You think it was at his behest?
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know if you've seen the video of Macy Tomlin, of her describing this, but
yeah, this came out a few years ago, and I think we did cover it on the air. It was one of those things we just couldn't avoid because people wanted to talk about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, she was sobbing in the video, and then she made a video later apologizing about it. But you know that her first video was what she really thought about the situation.
Well, they did seem to have patched things up, but I could be wrong about that. I mean, they were at the same Anarchapulco together shortly after this.
I mean,
that could be true, but look, I'm going to say that we should not be voting for Adam Kokesh for 2020. I'll just throw that in there as well.
Well, okay, so you're referencing the idea that Kokesh is going to be throwing his hat in for the Libertarian Party presidential nomination and is already intending to do that. I don't know at what point he can officially do that. But same year?
Whenever.
Oh, so whenever. So he could do it now, or he doesn't have to wait until...
Didn't somebody start running in 2006 for 2016?
There have been people. There's somebody running right now for 2036.
Really?
Jeez.
All right. Well, then I guess he's officially already thrown his hat in. I mean, who else is running?
But he's also saying that he's running for not president, and he's already not president. So, hasn't he won?
Right, but he wants to get the nomination by the Libertarian Party.
I've heard that McAfee has thrown in Kim Ruff, who was my campaign manager. She's thrown in.
Oh, really?
That Ben Letter guy said that he was running.
Okay.
But I also found out that he only announced that he was running after he got noted for Congress, meaning that none of the above was the official Libertarian nominee instead of him.
Yikes.
Vermin Supreme is running.
Always.
Oh, man. I thought he was going to team up with McAfee.
That'd be great.
Didn't McAfee point? I think McAfee made
some kind of post about it, but
that's a teaser. Man.
When Babar and War wound up being Babar, the elephant that came into the
Don't
big
insult
tent.
elephants like that.
Well, there's also the cartoon elephant
That's what
named
I'm talking
Babar.
About. Yeah. Leave that poor elephant alone.
Yeah. So when Barr and Root, they were both originally running for the presidential nomination and then became the presidential vice presidential ticket.
So Root stepped down from running for president and then
because they made a pact of, hey, I've got more votes. You step down, I'll throw my support behind you for vice president, and then we'll wind up, changing the Libertarian Party to mean conservative or something.
So, well, I mean, who are you throwing your support behind, Turd Ferguson? Have you decided at this point, or are you waiting for the debates?
Well, I mean, I'll wait for the debates, but I wouldn't mind John McAfee. He's probably the best choice out of all of them. I'd really prefer Peter Schiff. I think he'd be fantastic. He knows a ton about economics. But is
that guy even a libertarian?
Yeah, he's a libertarian. Yeah,
Are you sure?
He's just not big. He's just not big on cryptocurrency.
I also don't think he's a member of the party. Who's the dude from Overstock that I've heard?
Patrick Byrne.
Yeah, I've heard. There are people trying to recruit him to join the party and then run.
Seems to be principled, or at least seems to have some sort of grasp. McAfee may not be the most principled candidate, but then again, he'd still be better than every candidate we've had since basically 2004. So
I certainly will not vote for Bill Weld.
Jackie is going to throw down.
I'm being baited again.
Hey, look.
So what's wrong with Bill Weld?
Hey, look, I voted for Gary Johnson. I'll just never vote for Bill Weld. But
really?
But hey, on another note, real quick, I posted in the Discord earlier a picture of a lie that I caught James Whittakind in. He says that he had a friend that died.
I don't really care. I mean, I'm sorry to say, you called in previously about James, and I don't think it's fair. I mean, look, you can say what you want, but I don't think it's fair to call in about the one guy who can't actually call to respond. I mean, I'm going to say that. Okay, it's just not fair. We know he's a liar. I mean, we've seen that before, but whatever. Who cares? Thanks for the call tonight, Turd. I appreciate hearing from you. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 85. And I believe that he's got evidence that he told a lie. Just our audience doesn't even it's not relevant. If you want to see that, join the chat room over at discord.lrn.fm. As we go to Greg in New York, you're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Greg.
Hey. A few days ago, I was Greg from Miami because I was traveling.
Oh, all right.
I'm back. I'm back, baby.
Welcome back.
So I
Back
wanted
again.
to sort of... That's right. JD's back. So I'd like to kind of switch gears and just talk about climate change.
All right.
Basically, I wanted to ask if you guys and gals would support the use of force in order to do things like protect the children of the future generation from, things like death and bad health and huge CO2 concentrations in the air, which cause a drop in IQ and lots of other stuff like that. Isn't that harm? But at the same time, it's the people maybe don't exist yet. So would force be justified in this case? Because I feel that harm to future generations is actually something the government should be able to do, and like carbon credits and invest in solar, et cetera, because at the end of the day, I don't want to wait until the planet's ruined, because at that point, court systems are just not, fast enough. It's already done.
It's an interesting and fairly deep topic. We'll see if we can address it coming up here. Hang on, Greg. We'll bring you back for that here. Greg's concerned about the environment. Is protecting it ostensibly worth using aggressive force against people? Preemptive force.
Right. It's what some people refer to as harm reduction.
All right. There's more on the way here. This is Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite.
Everything we tried failed except the Dynavite.
Pick up 2 bottles of Super Mega Fish Oil.
Get the 3rd bottle free. Packed with omega-3, DHA, and EPA fatty acids.
Super Mega is great for your dog's immune system, healthy skin, and soft, shiny fur.
Dogs love it. Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynavite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
The Liberty Dollar was so successful that the United States government had to take it down, and its founder, Bernard von Nothaus. Now Bernard's son Extra has launched Liberty Dollar 2. LD2 is a cryptocurrency, but each token is backed by the same gorgeous fine silver rounds that Liberty Dollar has always been known for. Your silver is secured in an audited vault and can be redeemed at any time. There's only a few thousand LD2 Zero tokens left in the crowd sale at ld2coin.io. Get yours. ld2coin.io.
How well and how fast does Heart and Body Extract work to improve blood circulation? Listen.
My name is Ellis, and I am 66 years old, and I live in Jacksonville, Florida. 2 years ago, I was diagnosed as having clogged arteries. I had 70% blockage in one artery leading to my heart. They wanted me to go on Plavix, but I refused, knowing the negative side effects.
Heart and Body Extract is a unique balance, synergy, and proportion of herbs reaching from head to toe at maximum absorption around 95% at the cellular level.
Within the first month, I felt a dramatic difference. The heaviness in my legs was reduced, and within 2 months, I felt completely normal.
Your natural organic herbal formula for heart health is Heart and Body Extract. Heart and Body Extract comes with a 100% ironclad money-back guarantee. Details at hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305 for Heart and Body Extract. Call 866-295-5305, 866-295-5305 for Heart and Body Extract.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. Moments remain here. Maybe enough time for you if you get on the line with us now. Our number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. If you don't get in tonight, it's no big deal. Hey, we're supposed to do this, like, Liberty Dollar thing, aren't we?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so we got to tell you about this, which it's pretty exciting. Liberty Dollar is back. And it's not the way it used to be. Now, I'm an old school Liberty Dollar guy, and Jackie, you didn't even know what it was. Liberty Dollar was the world's, or America's most popular alternative currency. It started in the late 1990s, and it made it through about 2007 until the federal government raided their offices and raided their vault where the silver was stored. Basically, silver-backed warehouse receipts and actual pieces of silver. That's what the original Liberty Dollar was. They came after its founder, Bernard von Nothaus, and they charged him with a bunch of BS like counterfeiting, which was ridiculous. I mean, the charges were just ridiculous on their face. But regardless, they ended up getting a conviction, even though it was nonsense by this pathetic jury. And so I was really happy to see when Bernard sent out an email over this, I think it was during the summer or earlier this summer, sent out an email announcing that his son, whose name is Extra, has now founded Liberty Dollar 2, which is going to be a crypto token, cryptocurrency. And they're starting out with a limited edition, what they're calling the LD20 token. And there are 10,000 of these things available. It's sort of similar. So if you remember the Liberty Dollar, it's going to feel somewhat similar. Every token, sort of like the old warehouse receipts, every token is backed by an ounce of silver. So unlike, let's say, most cryptocurrencies, the 99.9% of them, which have no backing whatsoever, the Liberty Dollar 2 is absolutely going to have a gorgeous 0.999 fine silver round backing it, just like the original Liberty Dollar was famous for. And we're giving away 10 of these. Now, we've been doing some giveaways recently of cryptocurrency, but no prize like this.
Right.
What's an ounce of silver worth these days? Under $20?
Right, but yeah,
the Liberty Dollar 2 is actually going for $35 for one of these things in the pre-sale. So if you go to ld2coin.io, you can learn a lot more about this. You can read the white paper. You can buy them, obviously, if you'd like to do that. They would love to sell you some silver, and I would recommend it because I know that the Liberty Dollar...
They're not selling the silver. They're selling the token, and the tokens are redeemable.
That's true. So you decide whether or not you want to hold on to the token and trade it, or maybe cash it in and get the silver out of it. It's up to you. But you can enter this contest to win 10 of these things, a $350 value. Send an email to contest@freetalklive.com. Put LD2 in the subject line and include a number between 1 and 1,000. Now, to enter, send an email to contest@freetalklive.com. Put LD2 in the subject line and include a number. I presume also in the subject line include a number. It's not clear, but I presume that
Mark
means in
didn't
the subject
specify
line.
where he wants the number. Mark is handling this contest.
As long as the number's included somewhere.
Yes.
I'd recommend the subject line. That way you can just glance at it and not have to open it. The winner will be selected on November 5th, so we are less than a month away from this. This is the first time we're announcing it. In the event of a tie, the prize will be split. Liberty Dollar 2 will help you set up a wallet to receive your prize. Find out more at ld2coin.io. I've read the white paper on this. I don't read white papers generally, but I actually looked at this one because I was really curious about it. I'm a fan of the Liberty Dollar. I loved the original, and I think it's so cool that they're combining that concept with cryptocurrency. So ld2coin.io. Learn more there. We continue. We'll take more of your calls here. Greg is still on the line in New York. Greg, you'd brought up concerns about the environment. You'd asked a question about, is it appropriate to use aggressive force in the theory that you're going to help people not get hurt by bad environmental pollutants and that sort of thing in the future. I'm trying to sum that up. Jackie, I know you wanted to weigh in on this before we continue, so please.
Yeah, so you're bringing up a question that's really complicated from both an economic standpoint, a regulatory standpoint, an ethical standpoint, which is how do we discount the value of human lives? And just starting with placing a value on human lives to begin with is controversial, but it is something that we do when calculating the cost versus benefits of various environmental regulations or other safety regulations. It's calculated when people are awarded, damages and wrongful death suits. And normally when we calculate the future value of something, we apply a discount rate to it in which we say, okay, something that's coming in the future is not worth as much as if we had it right now. And so some people want to apply that same principle to future lives. Other people argue you can't do that because, as we see with rising healthcare costs, people are willing to pay more and more to extend their lives over time. People are going to be richer in the future, and should we be considering perhaps their lives will be relatively worth more than they are now, and if we discount them, we're undervaluing them.
Right. Well, I wouldn't. First of all, I wouldn't apply necessarily an additive calculus to this because in the future you could have an exponential, let's say, population explosion. Are you going to multiply it by trillions of lives, or that's one thing. But the other thing the main thing I wanted to say is this. At first you think libertarians just have sort of one hammer for every nail, which is, if you get harmed, then you go to court and then you get damaged. But the thing is, if you look more nuancedly, sometimes you haven't been harmed yet, right? But it's a sure thing. If we pollute the planet, if we create a runaway greenhouse effect and everybody dies, it doesn't matter at that point if the court awards damages. So that's what I'm saying. It's more of a global problem.
Exactly.
What do you do at that point?
It's also difficult with, sort of the knee-jerk libertarian response of, go sue them, is the difference between point source and non-point source solution. So point source solution, you can see where it's coming from. Like that factory over there is spewing out all this nasty gas and it's making me sick and I'm going to sue them. A lot of forms of pollution, like water pollution, are called non-point source pollution in that it's in the environment, but you don't know exactly where it's coming from. Maybe it's a whole bunch of individuals using a particular fertilizer on their lawn, and it's running off into this lake that's, farther down, downstream from them. And do you trace it back to every single homeowner and figure out exactly how much of this chemical they use? Do you
that sounds really difficult.
Yeah, so you can't just have that sue them.
Suppose we know exactly what we could do. Things like, for example, mandate that there be electric cars on the road by a certain time, carbon credits, making sure that we, just we did with the Toronto protocol, and we curbed the CFCs and the whole ozone layer.
See, here's the difference between being a utilitarian and a principled person when it comes to being a libertarian. That is, all the fear about what might happen, I don't care, because it's never a justification to use aggressive violence against my neighbors.
Even if humanity dies? Even if the whole human
It's total fear-mongering. It's total fear-mongering, and I'm not worried about humanity dying off. Humanity's pretty resilient. We've managed to figure out how to get this far, and the idea that we need to have this old artifice of the state around to somehow protect humanity, when in point of fact the state is absolutely the greatest threat to humanity on the planet, it seems so contradictory to me.
Right, and one of the things that if you go back and you look through history of most genocides, it was always for the greater good.
according to somebody in charge.
Right. That's why I used the air quotes that you could see and people watching on the Twitch could see. You know, there's always
who decides
for the greater good. The people that are doing the genociding.
How do you deal with the tragedy of the unmanaged commons if no one manages the atmosphere? No one owns it. How do you deal with it before it's too late?
The economic solution would be, you're talking about a market externality, and as much as possible, you want to internalize the externalities. So one proposed solution for something like air pollution would be a cap and trade policy where you figure out how much of the pollutant the environment can sustain, and then companies have to bid on the right to pollute that much. So you turn the air, the allowable pollution into...
Who runs the auction?
Yeah, see, this does require a state, but otherwise we would all just be...
I don't buy that the state is a steward of the environment, is a good steward of the environment. All the evidence points to the opposite. I mean, if you look at the state polluting, you can find the military is a tremendous polluter. You can find the state...
there was the instance just a couple of years ago where the EPA wound up cracking something open and it polluted a river.
Yeah. I mean,
and they blamed the free market.
Yeah, there's so many different examples of this. Greg, thank you for the call tonight. I mean, you're talking about asking the fox to guard the hen house here. Sorry, don't buy it. Aggressive force always creates unintended consequences every single time, no matter what the good intentions might be of the people who create the program. We've seen it over and over again. Don't forget, we got more Free Talk Live every single night. You can join us online between now and the next time over at freetalklive.com. And don't forget about our Discord chat as well at discord.lrn.fm.
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
The latest episode of Declare Your Independence is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network, LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, October 15th, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.75 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,232 per ounce. Zen is trading at $14, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,566. Antiwar.com reports dozens of Afghan police and soldiers were killed Saturday night into Sunday morning in the Farah and Zabul provinces in a series of Taliban attacks, mostly targeting Afghan military checkpoints. Exact death tolls are unclear, with Afghan officials reporting 20 killed and the Taliban reporting 25 killed in Farah, along with the district police chief slain in Mizan. Officials also report at least 11 soldiers were captured. The Taliban have been stepping up attacks in recent weeks, hitting checkpoints in remote parts of Afghanistan. In such areas, the security forces almost never have enough fighters to hold them off without reinforcements, and coordinated attacks means Afghan officials have to decide which places get reinforcements. In the lead up to parliamentary elections, such attacks are underscoring how much worse security across Afghanistan is getting, and that the Afghan government's abilities to provide any security at all is very limited. Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need Spendabit, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spendabit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spendabit.co. UPI reports Sears Holding has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy and will close nearly 150 stores by the end of the year, according to the iconic retailer on Monday. Sears said 142 stores would close in the next 3 months. That's in addition to the 46 stores earlier targeted for closure. The longtime American shopping mall anchor is trying to stave off a complete shutdown of not only Sears department stores, but also Kmart stores that it owns. As of August, the 132-year-old company had 506 locations, including 482 full-line department stores, as well as 360 Kmart stores. Sears had a $134 million debt payment due Monday that it could not afford, prompting the bankruptcy filing. The company will remain in business during the proceedings. Eddie Lampert resigned as CEO, but the company says he will remain as chair. He made several debt deals that kept the company afloat, but did not appear to have a strategy to turn the company around. He's also one of the company's largest investors, so he'll be a debtor and creditor during the bankruptcy proceedings. Lampert said in a statement, "While we have made progress, the plan has yet to deliver the results we have desired." Lampert is using his hedge fund to purchase the Kenmore brand from Sears. The Craftsman brand of lawn equipment and tools has already been sold. Zencash is now Horizon. Horizon is a privacy platform built on zero-knowledge technology with a decentralized secure node architecture. The Horizon platform enables real-life uses beyond currency, including the ability to privately chat with other people. Soon, Horizon will enable you to publish information and go anywhere on the web, all with complete privacy. Horizon, bringing privacy to life. Learn more at horizon.global. HORIZEN.global. Reuters reports President Donald Trump said over the weekend that separating migrant families at the border could deter undocumented immigration, and that he was considering several options to tighten border security. In June, Trump abandoned his policy of separating immigrant children from their parents at the U.S.-Mexico border after images of youngsters in cages sparked outrage at home and abroad. But some Trump administration officials have said the policy, under which 2,600 children were separated from their parents, was needed to secure the border and deter undocumented immigration. Trump seemed to support that argument over the weekend, telling reporters at the White House, if they feel there will be separation, they don't come. Trump also claimed, without providing evidence, that immigrants were grabbing children and they're using children to come into our country in many cases. He stopped short, however, of committing to a new round of family separations. Again, calling for Congress to pass immigration legislation, Trump said, "We're looking at a lot of different things having to do with illegal immigration. We're going to do whatever we can to get it slowed down." A government audit released earlier this month said the Trump administration's zero-tolerance immigration crackdown at the U.S.-Mexico border earlier this year was plagued by a lack of preparation, resource shortfalls, and communication failures. The audit found that hundreds of migrant children were detained for longer than the 3-day limit allowed at U.S. Border Patrol facilities, including one who was held for at least 25 days. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Like many young inner-city students, Chicago area high school sophomore Brandy Perkins struggles every day to motivate her teachers. The frustrated 16-year-old talked to Onion reporters this morning to discuss the challenges she faces in reaching out to her underperforming educators.
Connecting with the teachers gets harder and harder every year. We all come in every morning eager to learn, but most of the teachers just seem completely uninterested in education. One of my teachers, Miss Manley, has been particularly hard to